on top of the world, about to jump above it. Take it straight to the moon, 'cause we know how to rock it. Ain't no thing you can do, ain't no way to stop it. Now you're feeling it too, let's get it started. Throw your hands in the air while the beat is dropping. Acting like you don't care when everybody's watching. Just keep whipping your hair like that, you got it. Yeah, you're feeling it too, let's get it started. I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started. Charts off the meter, turn it up, blow the speakers, make them all to believers, break through the surface, tell them open the curtains, give them all what they wanted, yeah, now let's get it started. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Are you ready, ready? I'm ready. Let's get it started. Yeah, I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Let's go. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it, get it. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it. Yeah. Give me something new. Time to break loose. Take it to another level. Now we on the move. Shout if you coming with me. Going over the limit. On your mark, keep it steady. So tell me, are you ready? I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Sam, I don't even know how to intro. I haven't done an intro in so long. But very informal night of broadcasting here. Let's be honest with the people, Sam. We don't know half these drivers.
Oh yeah, this is something that's completely new for us. The Spring Fling 2022 is coming right around the corner, and we decided here on LSRTV an opportunity for drivers to have a chance to get a spot to go race for some cash. But first, you got to survive tonight. We got 2 races, 2 spots, and only the winner of the featured races get those free tickets to go race for an opportunity for the Spring Fling 2022. But Charles, that is the goal of the night, is just to win. But yeah, we really don't know these drivers. It is an open event. There are going to be a lot of drivers that's going to be cycling through tonight, but only 2 races these drivers are going to be handling with.
Yeah, they only have 2 races, 2 chances to get a win. I do know a few of these drivers. Jacob Fields, we know who he is. He's been around a long time. Tanner Tomasi, I see in the field tonight. And again, this is so informal. We don't have overlays. We're going to be calling this. The race isn't, we're going to be calling the race, but it's more about giving you information as to what this is about, who these guys are, because a lot of these guys will probably buy their way in if they don't win tonight anyway. A name I'm looking forward to seeing is Dylan Hauser. He obviously runs a speed shop called House of Speed. So, his claim to fame is speed. So maybe he'll be at the top of the charts here tonight. We'll see. A lot of these guys, I would imagine, are sporting some form of a speed shop or a setup shop or something because, well, let's be honest, Sam, they're running rampant right now.
They really are, and we're going to be running 2 races. First one's going to be here at Bristol. Again, drivers running the super late models here tonight, and they're flying around this course, putting down 15-second, 16-second times. And all the different drivers, I think for me, when I look at the list that we have so far, Tanner Tomasi, of course, going to be the first driver that's on my list. I think he might be the only driver that I've seen in a lot of different places, but like you said, Hauser's going to be a driver to watch out for. There's just, it keeps on piling in. I think right before we went live, we had around 40 drivers we're looking to potentially be in this race, well, at least trying to qualify into this race. As you see the ticker come up, we are under practice here. this evening, but we've got just that a little bit under 4 minutes before we get to racing action, where we're going to be finding ourselves with 4 heats, 3 mains, before we get to our featured race. 75 laps here for our first race this evening. As you see, our timer, that is for practice, it's coming to a conclusion here slowly on your top left.
Yeah, and then this is also, kind of a shakedown for us, too. I know a lot of the loyal fans out there have heard over and over again, we're having overlay issues, well, obviously, myself and Jeff Stabnow have been working hard. This is a little sample, the new red and black and white kind of look we're going for with the new SDK overlays. And a big shout out to SDK. They can be a little tricky to work with, but they're definitely very customizable. So that's what we're in the process of doing now. Obviously, we got new equipment in the mail today. It's in the computer, so we're testing that out. But, I really am looking forward to seeing who is going to be it. And there you see at the top seed right now, Dylan Hauser. So, hey, maybe that House of Speed's paying off, and he's going to come here and show these boys why they should be buying his setups from his shop. Tanner Tomasi, I hadn't talked to him in a long time. He's up there in third, as well as we see, looks like a Cottle up there. I'm not sure that is Cruz Cottle. I don't know who he is, so we'll be honest. But, Ethan Toder up there, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, may have been or is one of Will Duvall's drivers on his team. I can't confirm that, so I'll have to check in on that. But you're going to be seeing some very, very fast times here tonight.
Yeah, speaking of Will Duvall, he's going to be running race control for this evening. Might be coming in periodically to be talking and commentating with us up in the booth. Again, my name is Sam Dyer. With me is that Charles Wu, and as well as I'm going to be seeing Will Duvall join us later as practice is coming to a conclusion. Less than 2 minutes to go. Charles, heat racing for these drivers, 8 laps. Top 3 automatically move on to the featured event, but we're going to have 4 heat races for these drivers. It is going to be going very quickly, not a lot of time for us to breathe, but with the minute and a half that we have left here, what are you expecting, especially because it's on dirt Bristol, a track that, we could be seeing flips like that here tonight.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see, a lot of beating and banging. These guys, you think about, you don't want to call these drivers cheap, but at the end of the day, if they can win a ride or a spot into a race and save $80, they're going to do everything in their power to do it. And you think, oh, it's just $80, that could get expensive for some people, but on the line is a $6,000 to win race. So the Spring Fling obviously going to be a huge, huge purse. So, I would do anything I could. I'd probably wreck my grandma to try to win $6,000.
Hey, it's going to be a crazy one, as I believe we might have Will here. Will, I know you've been trying to get the lobby set up, get all the drivers prepared. We got 30 seconds left before we get to heat racing action to see who's going to be filing into our featured race. As we will get Will in a quick moment, but we're less than 30 seconds away. Heat racing first, 8 laps, top 3 move on to the featured race, and then we will have our 3 mains as these drivers getting their final bit of practice time in. And Charles, I'm looking over some of the information for these drivers, as there is going to be no fast repairs. Get any damage, you're dealing with it. But I think the one thing of note, these drivers are going to be very limited on the amount of contact that you can get away with. 8x incident points, and then you are disqualified. So drivers got to be playing nice on the best behavior as practice is coming to a conclusion.
Yeah, that's one reason we go to World of Thunder and Will Duvall to do our race control. They're the best in the business, and they don't put up with anything. They go out there and they tell these guys, look, go out there, race clean, use your brain, don't just go beating and banging each other. You can dirt's a little different on iRacing. You can beat and bang a little bit more without getting a 1x, just because they know you're going to be beating and banging on the dirt track, and you're going to hit each other as qualifying is underway. We won't worry about qualifying here tonight. Let's be honest. Sam, you know as well as I do, when you have heat racing on the line, qualifying really doesn't amount to a hill of beans.
I mean, it certainly does place you in a better opportunity. If you qualify well, it's going to be putting you in a better heat, which whatever positioning you finish in those heat events, if you qualify up front, you're going to be put in heat 1. And if you win heat 1, you get the pole position for the featured race. So there is a little bit of, weight that comes to qualifying. But yeah, for sure, it's once you get to heat racing, it's all about performing for yourself to make sure that you do well, as you're going to be seeing a lot of names trickling in. All these drivers going to be finding themselves 3 minutes of practice, of qualifying, so not a lot of time to work with, but you can put down times very quickly here this evening, and then you only have 2 laps to put down your fastest lap to figure out where you're going to be qualified and basically placed once we get to heat racing action. Also, I was looking over some of the information that these drivers are going to be dealing with here tonight. Here at Bristol for the dirt, these drivers going to be seeing the track evolving throughout the night. I think what's fun here, Charles, is we are going to be seeing a lot of drivers. I think half the field might be thinking about not even trying to put a time down, but as well, we're going to see a wide range of experience. We have any drivers, if you know iRacing, there's a iRating, look, you could say grade that you're given. Drivers start out at 1,300 once you start as a rookie. And if you win races or finish a high, that rating goes up. And if you're doing poor, it goes down. We got drivers that are up in the 6,000s. We got drivers that are down in the 400s of iRating, a wide variety of experience coming into tonight's racing.
Yeah, definitely a wide variety of drivers. And, that's the beauty of, hosted races like this. You may go into official races and everybody wreck you. You lose all your I rating. It looks like you're an awful driver, and then you come to a hosted race or a league race and you win the thing. That is just the beauty of it. I consider I rating kind of similar to going to your local racetrack and you see that car that looks pristine, new sheet metal on it, comes in $100,000 hauler, and then you have the car that looks like it just rolled out of a junkyard, but it's got a motor in the thing that you wouldn't know and just waxes that, that $100,000 hauler on the track. Sometimes iRating can be just like that.
Yeah, you never know truly what you're going to get, especially with the fact that a lot more real-life drivers have been moving over to iRacing and been having fun. That means sometimes iRacing doesn't always prove who's got the most talent out here, but you can see it now. We're getting prepared. 15 drivers going to be here for heat number 1. As the field's getting ramped up, your driver that technically would have gotten the pole position based off of qualifying, Brett Evans, going to be top of the board, and he's also going to be seeing that of Hauser, Caldwell, and also Whitfield going to be in your front 4.
Yeah, it's going to be a stacked one. Looks like around 5th place going to be Ben. We're just going to call him Ben C. Again, we do not know these guys. This is the first time we've seen a lot of them, so we do apologize for anything. I guess that's a counter marsh. That's what we're going with here tonight. Adam Holbert's in there. Jace Floyd, Ty Whitman. Whiteman, sorry. Ethan. Yeah, you want any shots of that one there, Sam?
We're going to stick with you with Ethan. We're going to stick with the 24. Again, this is a fun race we're putting on. Then you've also got that Matt Bailey going to be in that 10th position for the 26th. Then we got Jeffrey Nichols with that of Hogan, Sorensen, as well as John Darty. Then we've got that of Shannon Zane Minor, as well as that of Chris Manchik is going to be in that 15th position. As up front, the goal, make sure you are in the top 3 positions. You make it to the featured race. If you don't, you got to go through the mains. You got 3 mains. You got to be setting yourself up. Looks like we're getting ready to go green flag racing. Pace truck's in, and we're racing, and we're already going to be 4 wide for a moment, with 3 wide going down in turn number 1.
Yeah, remember that 8X limit? These guys getting a little wild and hairy right off the start, trying to go 4 wide. That's not going to do any favors to that incident limit. Is I believe Will's with us now. He had a little extended there, and the caution comes out for Ethan K, the guy we trying to figure out his name. Will bring out the caution here, and apparently it's the TNR caution tonight.
TNR is going to be thrown out. And yeah, Will, I mean, first yellow of the night, but already quick, heavy racing with that flip that just happened.
Yeah, absolutely. We yes, we are running cautions in this. We're trying to keep things as realistic and on the up and up as possible. We got several people actually come out to help me, so that's fantastic for this race. Sorry, my brain is still scrambled. You're gonna have to give me a second.
Well,
Well-
your goodwill.
I know the feeling, Will, and again, anybody that knows LSRTV knows we're usually somewhat scripted. We go by the weather, we go by this, we do that. Not tonight. Tonight is fun night. You go to your favorite local bar, whatever, you have happy hour. What is happy hour for LSRTV? We're not going to go cussing and screaming, but we're going to have fun. That's what tonight is about, fun and giving away free spots into a big money race because, who doesn't like to try to win big money?
Yeah, this is just qualifiers for these drivers. Again, the goal, get to the featured race, and you have to win the featured race to get that ticket. This is only race number 1 of the night for these drivers here at Bristol. Then we're going to be changing tracks, and when we'll have a featured there as the pastry truck lights are off. We're about to go green flag racing once again. This is heat number 1 for this evening. And who's going to get it done is it's going to be that Brett Evans. Hauser going to be your front 2 as they're stacking it up, single file, getting ready to go green.
And it's interesting we go single file here, which, hey, that's sometimes what happens. Will makes those calls, and sometimes iRacing makes them, but, you can't get it going on lap 1, 2. Hey, let's stack them up as we're currently on showing lap 5. I don't think that's quite accurate, but we'll see how it all goes. And Will, did you say we are counting caution laps tonight?
We are not counting caution laps all the way across the board. This is still being used, though it is not put on by the same people that are putting on the spring fling itself. We are still going to use this race. We're going to send it into them so they can use it for testing for the fling to decide what track they want to use. So we are running via what they have asked for, and that is a lengthy race of 75 laps. We're not counting caution laps. Everything is going to continue on just as though it would if it were the real spring fling.
There you have it. And the laps are starting to act up, so obviously our lap counter's a little wonky. Apparently, it's about as, jacked up as I am on some Red Bull sometimes.
All day today.
Yeah, all day today. So behind the scenes, you'd know that whole story. But it's a little bit of wall tap there, but some good racing so far. Sam, I figured these guys would probably be beating the bang in a little bit more, but that 8X is maybe keeping these guys in check a little bit.
And also, just is a handful. You got to make sure that you are under control with these super late models as we are on lap 7, coming to lap 8. Last lap of heat number 1. It's the top 3 we're looking for, and currently right now it's the 101 of Brett Evans leading the way, coming to the white flag, but yellow flag waves right when we were coming to the white. That's going to be putting us in a situation of a green-white checkered. Take a look at what brought out this yellow, and the drivers further back, 94 and the 35 and others.
Oh my goodness.
Is going to be seeing that a minor.
Yeah, it may be minor, but that damage was definitely not minor. He went for a vicious ride there. Somebody forgot to tell these guys you're not supposed to fly in them. So that, lately we've seen that here on iRacing. It seems like, especially with the late models, the nose, it just picks cars up and, just sends them airborne. I can't tell you how many the last couple of races, not even just dirt races, that we've seen cars go flying through the air like that.
Well, you can see it based off the nose as well, Will. As the drivers are stacking up and getting ready to go, this is going to be overtime. We do have 3 attempts if needed. So if we do not get to the white flag and another yellow flies, we'll go into attempt number 2. If that happens once more, we'll go into attempt number 3. But pace truck is up. We're going green. This is heat number 1. Who's going to make it in? Right now it's Brett Evans, Hauser, and Conwell going to be your top 3. And ripping the outside is going to be Hauser trying to find that momentum out of turn number 2.
And he's going to be coming to take the white flag, assuming we do not have a caution. And it is Evans takes the white flag, so no other cautions can take him away, so he's got to be on point now. He's got a couple of cars behind him. Hauser on the move, but I don't think it's going to be enough if Hauser has a little bit of contact and some connection issues there going on, but it's not going to matter as Evan's going to take that win here in heat number 1, and that's good for him. But I mean, to be starting up front, trying to go for that free pick.
Hauser was not able to secure that second place position. It's actually going to be that of Whitfield, who's going to sneak away it going through 3 and 4 and comes away across the line 3rd. So Hauser's going to have to find his way through the mains if he's going to get any more positions for himself. And also an update, because of the amount of drivers that have shown up, we're actually only going to have 3 heats, 3 mains, and then we'll get to our featured racing action as we get prepared for heat number 2. A couple of more drivers going to be in the mix here, as we're expected to see 15 drivers involved in this race, but it could be trimmed down if not all the drivers get lined up and get a part of the grid.
Yeah, and this one I want to know, we'll have to talk to Will real fast. Will, Ethan Toder, the name sounds familiar. Was he one of your teammates, or is one of your teammates potentially?
No, Ethan Toder has been racing dirt and racing the World Thunder side very prominently, very fast driver for quite a while now. He's very, very talented and shows it to us week in and week out over on the World Thunder side.
I'll definitely know the name. Obviously, everybody that's been around iRacing, probably, you know, one of the oldest guys on the iRacing, not as far as age, but as how long he's been around. Jacob Fields in here. We also have a few more in there. It looks like Hibdon? Olin Hibdon. We'll go with that one. McLaughlin. A few others. As the green flag does come out again, we apologize on behalf of myself and Sam. Will doesn't need it. He knows them. But again, we've never seen most of these drivers before tonight. We said, hey, we bought 2 tickets. We're going to give them away. That's what we're doing here tonight. As you see right now, that iconic 007 machine of Jacob Fields. No paint job. The car's for sale, Sam. You want to buy it?
I mean, it certainly is looking like it wants to get a couple of sponsors slapped on that, you know, 007 machine. But right now, seeing Fields, he's trying to search for where the speed is at. He was trying down below in those first 2 laps, but now has found the outer lane. Right now, I think he's starting to find, all right, where the 29 is, might be where I have to go if I want to find that extra speed here at Bristol.
Yeah, and you know, we saw in practice there for the actual real race here with the Cup cars, Kyle Larson running all the way at the top. Fields not doing that right now, but if you go up 1 spot to Ethan Toder, 16.26, fastest lap of the race. He's going towards the top, not quite there. Will, you're the dirt guru, the master of all things dirt on iRacing here. Top, bottom, which is going to be the line to go later on in this race?
You know, to be quite honest with you, I'm leaning towards the top, but this new Bristol dirt, the lower banking and stuff and everything they've got going on, I think it's still up in the air as to see where they're going to end up going. I'm quite interested myself in learning a little bit about this track right now.
Well, we learned, we're going to go look at Alan Stick, I do believe, is the reason for the caution. We have one other potentially involved in Mason Hannell as well, but he just stops it on the track there. So, interesting. We'll go look over at the Mason incident and see what happened to the number, I believe that is number 43. And there, just hammers the inside wall, or outside wall, sorry, turns it around and just done. He may have hit his 8 incident limit there, Sam.
I was a little bit of that, and as well, I mean, I noted on it, we've got a wide range of drivers with experience levels, and if you are not used to running these super late models, it can be a handful at times. Some drivers, you know, if you lose the car and you don't know how to work that wheel seesaw and make sure that you are sticking in the right direction, you easily can spin these cars out. We saw that from Hannell, who's going to be going around. But these drivers getting set. We're going to go back to green flag racing, as it's going to be the 29 leading the way. Everyone's single filed up and ready to go. But that's the big thing for these drivers, is those that are further back, they're going to be trying to find a handful. But this is going to reset. And watch out for the 11 of McLaughlin. He's going to be a driver to watch out for that might be able to steal a position here, as we are getting ready to finish out heat number 2.
And we've been doing very well, too. 10 minutes is what they have to do these races, and we've been finishing them around 6 minutes, so they have time to spare onto the clock, so that is good. We're seeing that clean racing that we want to see, as a white flag will be coming out this next time by. Here comes Fields right to the inside of Toter, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. He's got one lap to secure that win in the heat race number 2 if he wants to, but, I think Toter may have this one wrapped up.
Yeah, Toter is looking great. He's just got to throw it down low, does that, and there's not going to be enough straight away for that of Fields to come back and make the pass. Toter takes heat number 2 with that of Jacob Fields, and also that of Colin Hidon going to be taking that of 3rd place. Those are going to be your 3 drivers moving on to our featured race. So that's going to be 6 spots that have already been grabbed. But now we have our final heat of the night for these drivers for race number 1 here at Bristol. We still have a complete another track to go later on, but these drivers, the heat racing, going pretty quick as that of Tanner Tomasi is going to be leading the way for these drivers in heat number 3.
I'm looking forward to seeing how Tanner Tomasi does. That name I know used to be on Will's team at some point, as I have seen him many times, but Tanner Tomasi, somebody to watch. Looking through this field here, we won't go through the entire thing. Alex Robinson, we know who he is. I'll be looking to see how he does, but again, a full field here of drivers that we don't typically see on the channel. Will, how many of these guys you know?
Just about all of them. Actually, there are quite a few heavy hitters in this one. Tanner Tomasi, Chance Carr, Chase Barber, Trent Hitchens. Just being, that top 4, just being, some of the heaviest ones in this group. But several heavy hitters in this heat race. It's going to be an interesting one to see. It could be anybody's game.
And as we take the green flag here, looking at that number 2 car, it says number 2, but I'm not shaking it on the car. I'm not thinking he's actually number 2 in the scoring. It says Rocket 1 on it, or Rocket with the 1. That's a D1RT. I believe, and he'll correct me if I'm wrong, that is like their secondary team with Rocket.
Correct.
So not bad. We're seeing a lot, like you said, a lot of heavy hitters in here, and they are side by side right now. You couldn't fit a piece of paper between those 2 right now, but we'll see how they do. The D1RT, Sam, I don't know if you've heard of them, but Ed Livingston and D1RT, those guys are some heavy hitters wherever they go. And, to be honest, I'm surprised we're not seeing more of their guys in here.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it could have been just not enough time for themselves, knowing when it was going to start up. They could try to make it into the second race later on this evening, as continuing to watch where these drivers are lying. But really, I got to give credit right up front. Great racing is going on for that second and third place position, as you got Barber and also Hitchens going to be on top of one another. But it's that of Chance Carr, who had a very poor couple, first 2 laps, fell back. He's got a lot of work if he wants to get by this 92. And
he just ran a 16:42, the fastest lap until this past lap. And that was Nick Baum. They ran a 16:23. So they are still laying down fast laps, which is good, because that means this track is not completely worn out, and we're seeing fast times being laid down. We go back to the wizard of all things dirt racing, Will Duvall. Will, typically on a dirt track here on iRacing, because again, we don't do a whole lot of it. We want more. It's just not there right now for us at LSRTV as the white flag comes out. Do you expect to see this track get faster lap times as soon as we got our car wrecking further into this race? Or will there be a point where they kind of just level out and we don't see those fast times anymore?
With Bristol, that's always an interesting. It's up in the air. If you can find that right line, that perfect line, the fast lap times will tend to remain there for Bristol Dirt here on iRacing. It's quite an interesting track, quite an amazing track, and it's one of my favorite things about it, actually.
Well, definitely looking forward to see how those lap times progress, or degress. Not even a word, Sam. Decompress? I don't know.
Degress.
Yeah, degress. Go slower, get faster. We're looking forward to it. And it looks like one of my favorite things on dirt track racing, Sam, is, I'm a little hungry, so this probably isn't the best thing to do, but we're playing the alphabet soup here tonight.
Sometimes
everybody transfers.
There you go.
Yeah, we're playing a little bit of it.
All right, so what is actually going on here? These are 3 B mains. So we're going to have 12 laps in all 3 of these, and the top 5 from each one of these is going to transfer directly to tonight's feature race. They are all 3 B main races, even though it shows it as the alphabet soup on the ticker.
Well, there you go. And for the ones that are on the channel may not know what dirt racing is all about, how it works, what he's referring to is called stacked B main. So instead of, while it does say D main on there, instead of it actually being alphabet soup, which is, you know, D, C, B, A, we are going B, 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 A. So it looks like we have a stutter, but we are going stacked B mains. And you said top 5 go from each one?
Yes, sir, that is correct. Top 5 transfer out of each one of these into tonight's feature race.
Well, Sam, I know where we're going to be watching, and that's at 5th place.
Yeah, and it's going to be a little bit of a smaller grouping here. Looks like that of Jeffrey Nichols, also Daugherty and Minor not going to be starting up on this featured race. I mean, on this B main. So only 8 drivers. 3 of them will not move on as we are green. Watching the 12 going to be up front, but it's side by side, 3 rows deep here in the early going.
Yeah, that's number 2 spot right now. Dylan Hauser is your final transfer spot, and that is not where you know, I'm sure Dylan Hauser is used to being. As you can see right on his hood, House of Speed. Well, he needs to pick it up just a little bit, and well, unfortunately, hitting that outside wall is not going to do it, as he was bunched right there between 2 or 3 cars, and, you know, there's not a lot of room when you get all bunched together like that, and everybody's turning at different angles, going into these corners, doing sliding in there, just a little different. It can be really hairy in these cars.
Oh, extremely hairy. And also you're noticing, you know, to keep on trying to search for that moisture on the higher lanes, and you can really find yourself being pinched and stuck into that outside wall in an instant as Hauser's going to dive it down low, try to do a crossover slide job move, not able to make it stick for now, but trying to throw it down to find any more speed for themselves as Gunnar Marsh in the 12th doing great work on that outer lane for the 12th to hold on. But up front, it's going to be that of J.C. Floyd, also Albert, Countermosh, Wyatt, Wyman as well is going to be that of Hauser. Our top 5, and so far, their top 5 are all on top of one another as these laps continue to tick away as we're halfway through our first B main of the evening.
And this is where you got to be a little happy and scared if you are Dylan Hauser. You know, you're sitting in 5th place right now in a spot to advance. Not a very good spot, but he'd like to get more. But these guys could potentially wreck in front of him as close as they are. That's good for you. The bad news is you could get tangled up in it. He's going to take 4th now, so that is good for him. But he's got a little bit more padding. But that battle going on for 3rd place, it's still hot and heavy. And really, your top 4 are just right there together.
And just like that, a beautiful dive bomb there by the 2, but crossover going to be made. Gunnar Marsh going to be able to hold on for now for the 12, and those are the types of moves that we're going to be seeing a lot more, especially with the way this track's evolving. And here comes that of Hauser once more, diving it down low.
And he just set the fastest time, too, 16, well, it was 16.58, so, sorry, 16.51. He had it, then he lost it a little bit, but, you know, he's right there. He's setting fast times, but, you know, fast times don't mean anything if you're stuck in the, you know, midfield. Especially when it comes time for that main feature race tonight. You want to be up to the front, but just like that, Jace Floyd, 16.27. He just cracked the fastest lap of this race. So, again, I think we're going to see these fast laps come into play big time as we're coming to take the white flag here next time by. And it's just ridiculously hot and heavy up at the front as the white flag is out.
White flags out, and for all these drivers, again, top 5 move on to our featured event. But the higher up positioning you are, the better you start for that featured race. And it's going to be St. Floyd diving it down low, looking good, but out of turn number 4. Last opportunity, not close enough. It's going to be Floyd taking that win here for our first, that you saw, it says D main, but technically our first of 3 B mains we're going to be having.
Gotta love stacked mains. Plus, I'm less hungry now because it's not alphabet soup. That's the B main number 2 getting ready to come out. And looking at this one, not seeing as many names I know. I do know Hagen Sorensen. There for a while, he was actually the cover photo of LSRTV on our Facebook page in his number 45 car. So good to see him in here. So since neither one, me or you, Sam, really know a lot of these drivers, we will throw it back down to how I refer to him, the wizard of all things dirt racing. Will, who are some heavy hitters in this particular B main that we should be looking for?
Well, heavy hitters that stand out to me the most is going to be Huey Quillen. Hagen Sorensen is actually not in this one. Is it? Yes, he is. Hagen Sorensen. Jason Corn's pretty good. Jake Cooley's pretty quick. I don't know Zach McLaughlin, but he's starting up there. And Tyson Ulick, he's also usually a pretty prominent name in World of Thunder races.
Well, we'll be looking to see how Quillen does, McLaughlin does. And you're right. Hagen Sorensen was scheduled to be in here, but did not start. And Sam, that's something we may see as we get into these B mains here as the yellow flag comes out for Jason Korn. But, if you don't think you have a shot to win, some of these guys, they'll just call it a day, maybe regroup for the next track, or just call it a day altogether. It's, wow, another launch. I don't know what to say about these launches. These guys are just taking off like rocket ships into the infield, into outer space. It's a real good thing we don't see that in the real-life Bristol race, because that could get very dangerous very quick.
Yeah, I mean, for a second there, I thought Korn thought he might have forgotten what vehicle he was in. You were not in, a Moto X machine. You're not supposed to just jump over walls like that. But, a lot of the different drivers, there was a lot of hard contact there, but really got to say for our top 5, all of them seem not to be heavily involved with that incident. Again, another race of only 8 drivers making it to the start and making it to the grid, and we'll be left with that of just 8 on track setting up on this restart. But wheel spin, that was the issue on that last restart. We'll see if these drivers can get themselves situated, as we're going to be starting lap number 2. The ticker will get reset once we put down a lap. It takes some time. Sometimes it thinks it's outsmarting itself.
Yeah, it definitely does. Sometimes it thinks it knows one thing, but it doesn't know any better than we do. So it'll reset as the green flag comes back out once again. Excuse me. And, I'm not used to having to announce, but usually I'm just behind the scenes yelling at people. But one thing you have to know that's going in the favor of some of these guys, if they are, actually in this race right now, if you don't have too many people behind you, there's only 8 of you and 5 advance. If you're, 6th, 7th, and 8th, you don't have as many people pressing you, versus you could have 7 people versus 3. That's not as much pressure from behind. You can relax a little bit, not a lot. So that's one good thing going for them, but they've still got to get into those top 5 spots.
Yeah, and right now watching on screen, this is the battling that's going on for second place that you're watching. For that, as Tyson going to be having to watch out going to that outer lane, on the inner lane, as well as Glennon on the outside, trying to rip it and find some more speed on the straightaways. But that 5th place position going to be where the battling in action is for right now. Again, only the top 5 move on, and right now it's side by side for 5th place.
Yeah, side by side for 5th. We'll go back there and take a look, and they are just beating and banging. Oh, just a shot in the shorts to that 44 from the 25. He got him real good. But we continue to stay clean and green as we're on lap 7 of 12. And there's 2 distinct lines right now. We're not really seeing that middle one, the middle groove, working too much, because you can see just all the slick right there building up. But you got your catfish down on the bottom, and then you got people like the 44s. He's trying to rip the lip as much as he can. He's got the 4 with him. So two distinct grooves here, Sam. The top and the bottom, there is really nothing in between.
Yeah, and right now, right there, showing the 44, he was really, that lip was being utilized to its fullest potential, and he was climbing through this field. But then you get kind of trapped where you know that you can run that line faster than other drivers. You might feel like you got a little bit more confidence to really just send it in these corners, but then you've got to make the decision. Do you want to decide to go down low, risk the slide job move, and make it a dive bomb pass? But sometimes you just got to sit, relax, understand, hey, as long as you got no other troubles, the 4 gets out of shape there out of the corner, you got to make sure that you keep these cars in shape. So you got an opportunity to be racing for that featured race.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You got to keep it together and make it to the features. Ooh, the 4 slides up. A little bit of a slide job there on the 44. He has him, but he is going to lose that spot. As we are on lap 11, we're going to be taking the white flag next time by. I don't see a caution bringing that out for Zach, as he is taking the white flag, and he is smooth sailing into the A main here on our second B main. Again, we're going to have one more B main, top 5 going, and there you go. There's your top 5 from that one.
Going to be seeing that of Zach McLaughlin, Quillen, as well as Collie going to be taking that of 3rd, with then Tyson in the 74, and also going to be the 33 coming in, sliding away as Mason Hennel was not able to hold on there late, and just showing, some drivers that were involved with that early first wreck and even on the restart got into the wall. They had some strong rebounds, but this is, I think, a little bit of redemption for this crowd of drivers. Chance Carr, I think, is going to be the driver that everyone knows is going to be the driver to watch out for with speed. I think also Blake Murphy, also going to be, Murray going to be another driver down in 8th for this B main for tonight. I think this is going to be a couple of drivers that thought should have made it through on their heat races, but had mistakes. This is their opportunity to get into this featured event.
Yeah, Carr definitely, we heard from Will, who is going more full race control now for us as we're getting closer and closer to that A main. So he's going to be watching close for the A main because, again, these guys, there's a lot on the line. I know it's only an $80 ticket that you're getting it tonight if you win the A main, but there's a lot on the line, to get into the race if you're in that race. So, it's not about picking the best driver, but we have to make sure, or Will has to make sure, that, we're not about dirty driving here. And we got to make sure that a clean driver gets in there. If someone takes out the leader to try to get a win here tonight, that's what Will's here for. He's the enforcer, the punisher, and he will do his job very well. He always does.
That he will. Chance Carr, 2 on our screen, 30 on our ticker, and he is going to be taking the green down into turn number 1. And that shiny, slick area in the middle, we were talking about it there, Charles. It is just growing every single lap. And those very 2 distinct lines, you can see them being ran for this B main for sure. And it's going to be even more once we get to that featured race.
Yeah, it is going to slick off quite a bit before we get there. And I'm not sure if there's a warm-up or not for these drivers to go out there and kind of practice a little bit, because you got to think, if you were one of the first heat races, you have not touched this track. If you were in the top, 3, top 2, whatever, you have not got to see this track in a long time. With Scott Smith bringing out the caution here. But while we watch this caution, if you haven't touched that track, you really would like a time to go out there and kind of get a feel for how it is now. Is boom, there's your caution right there. Just pile drives the 53 and into the inside wall he goes.
That's Scott Smith in the 53, and there is a heat. There is going to be a warm-up for these drivers. It's going to be 10 minutes of warm-up for them to get used to this track once more. The track conditions for this evening started with practice. It was a clean track. 100% was, that of a 0% wear had not been used. It was beautiful, pristine. Well, every single session it carries over, meaning this track is going to be the track that you go into warm-ups with, and whatever wear and tear you put in during warm-ups, that gets carried over to the featured event. So all the drivers, keep it in mind, they got to make sure they do, for some, they got to really get used to the wear and tear.
Yeah, they're going to have to get out there and, however long that warm-up is, get used to it for just a few laps. You won't have many. That is one downside to, doing really good in a heat race, is you don't get that chance to go back out there and see what the track is like. Typically, especially at a real-life event, you do not get that chance to go and hit the track again. Luckily, here we have that ability to do so. So that is good for them, because you're at a huge disadvantage if you're not prepared for a completely slicked-off track, and it turns out that way. And sometimes it does. More often than not, then it will do that. So definitely glad they get that chance to go and, hit the surface a little.
Also want to give note, another driver going to be done for the night. That of George Post has been removed. So that means the number of drivers really got to worry about has shrunken. Again, top 5 move on to the featured race. That's the goal as we are green once more. It's going to be that of Jeffrey Baum going to be up front in that 0-2 with Jay's car going to be in second. Then you got Peter Leak, Murray going to be in that of 4th, as well as that of Bocher going to be in that 5th place position. They're hoping they can stay there as this B main only 12 laps. We're starting lap number 4.
Yeah, lap number 4 is what we're on, and we'll see. It's turning out to be a pretty good race. I want to note your chance car 16.89 just ran the fastest lap of this race, and again, still hitting those fast laps, which is awesome to see. We questioned and wondered if we would see it at all, but they're still continuing to lay down fast laps, and they are definitely ripping the lip, at least up towards the front. So take a look back here around 5th place, 5th, 6th, and they're doing it as well. But look who's right in front of them. Mr. Bowe in that 57. He says, no, I'm going to run right through the middle of this slick stuff.
Yeah, he's trying to find, how to utilize the whole entire track, which is kind of a great defensive move. It's holding back that extra speed that we're seeing from Justin Winslow in that 18.6 on the car, but the blue machine of Winslow makes the pass. That's for 5th, and an important transfer position. Again, this is the last race to figure out who's going to be moving on to the featured event, and it's going to be Winslow on the outside. Rim-fitted contact's going to be made on the straightaway as they go down into turn number 1.
Yeah, he just flat door slammed him and said, look, I'm faster than you, get out of the way, or I'll push you out of the way, and he did that. He gave him a nice hump, and I wouldn't even say it was a dirty move. He, if you're the other driver, it's definitely a dirty move, but, he hit him square on, and that's the key to one of these drives. If you're going to hit him, you can't hit him crooked, you can't hit him in the front or the rear. He hit him square on and just kind of pushed him down, and, he passed him. Neither one of them wrecked, so, in my book, it was a clean little door slam there.
I mean, also, we're on dirt. It is slick, it's slippery. You feel like you're on icicle, you're on ice at times, and these cars can drift up and down and make contact very easily if you're not making the pass cleanly and quickly. As that of Brandon Kitchen able to make the pass for now. Here comes though Bowe trying to follow suit, but we're coming up to the white flag. It's going to be that of Jeffrey Baum, going to be up front for the 0-2, who takes the white flag. This is it. These drivers are battling for nothing. This is for 6th place. You are not in the top 5, and those are the only drivers that will be transferring over.
Yeah, just a good clean race. That is what we wanted to see. That's what we got here tonight. It was clean, Sam.
Well, it was after the checkered flag had waved, and just get your frustrations out because you're not racing anymore. As that of Bowe and as well Brandon Kitchen going to be finally crossing the line for themselves, but they already knew it was over, and just putting the finishing blow for themselves is that of Kitchen. As the drivers now, the heat races are done, the B mains are done. It's warm-up time for these drivers before we get to a 75-lap featured event here in just about less than 10 minutes for these drivers. So Charles, it's one of those things where drivers, to get on track, they get to try this new track out for some, but this is when we're going to be seeing the drivers who's going to feel the most comfortable rim riding through here at Bristol.
Yeah, and we're going to give them a few minutes to do that, and I'm sure we need a time to get a drink, stuff like that, so we're going to go to a quick commercial break. But again, for the ones out there watching, don't go anywhere, because we will be right back here in just a few moments with your A-Main feature race.
If recent storms have caused damage to your property, contact 811 before you begin your cleanup. Buried utilities around uprooted trees can make a bad situation worse if those lines are not located before digging. Electric, natural gas, and internet lines are everywhere, and knowing where they are is the safest way to start any digging project. Call North Carolina 811 by dialing 811 or by using single address ticket on nc811.org or the NC811 app.
Hey, it's broadcast personality Wesley Outland, and for the second year in a row, the Community Radio Network is excited to also be the voice of iRacing on LSRTV every Monday and Thursday night with the Northwest Racing Series for Cup and Truck. Join yours truly, Justin Prince and Samuel Dyer, every week as they race towards a championship. We're also on the radio in the Triangle, in the Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area at 87.5 WCRN, and anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. Click play, check out the coverage, the power of radio to the imagination of the listener, esports style. We are the Community Radio Network, the voice of iRacing on LSR TV. Check it out when you can, and replays are always up too. Hey, it's broadcast personality Wesley Outland up topside at one of the great racetracks of the world, the Caraway Speedway. And I'd like to remind you to join us every Wednesday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern to 3 p.m. Eastern with coverage of Finish Line, where we talk to everybody from NASCAR to grassroots, like right here at Caraway Speedway. Carolina's Fox Sports Radio affiliates, iHeartRadio, and on the Community Radio Network at 87.5 FM. And remember, thanks to Live Sim Racing Productions, you can actually see the guest panel, ask their questions, get interactive with us with comments, and so much more in our chat box. Finish Line every Wednesday. Join us every week.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, after a nice little needed break for everybody involved. Sam, a feature time coming up as warm-up is done. How many laps are we running? I don't even know how many laps we're running here tonight. This was all set up by BJ Wildval. I said, you're the master, do what you got to do. So not only did I not know the drivers coming in, I didn't even know how many laps were running. So I'm very unprepared for this.
I think we both came in very unprepared, unsure of what racing action we were going to see, what was going to happen. But we did know 2 races, doubleheader. We had Bristol here, and then we've got another race after this we'll get ourselves prepared for. But for this race, 75 laps they're going to be set for. You saw the heat races. You saw the B-mains. Charles, it's now time for 75 laps of racing action here at Bristol.
Bill, BJ gave us 75 laps. He's fired. I'm just kidding. 75 laps should go by fairly quickly here, assuming, we don't see a lot of cautions. I don't expect to see a lot of cautions because of the incident limit. We talked about it earlier being 8x. You spin around, that could be easily 1 or 2x. You hit the wall too hard, that could be 1 or 2x. So you could very, very easily accrue that 8x, quickly. So these guys are going to have to mind their P's and Q's out here and definitely make sure they do not hit that wall any more than they have to.
As the drivers are getting ready, rolling out, the goal, win. That is the only position that matters. It is no longer, you finish in the top 5, you got a shot. We only got 2 tickets, and it's the winners of the featured races for our doubleheader here tonight that get a ticket of that. I believe you said it was $80 in value, but only the winner gets that value for a ticket to race for the Spring Fling 2022. But we are green, and it's going to be seeing our drivers up front. It's going to be seeing that of the 29 and the 101. The 101 leading the way, and out of the corner, it's going to be the 101 leading the charge. It's going to be that of Brent Evans leading the way.
Yeah, and this is why we're going to be up at the front, because that is where everything matters. As Tanner Tomasi's up there, Ethan Toder, Cruz Cuddle, Jacob Fields, drivers we expected to see there is looking to go too wide for the lead, too wide for second. It's just a battle. Look at the 23 just rocket to the high side and take it all the way, rips the lip and then some as he takes to the lead, but can't quite hold it over Tanner Tomasi.
Tomasi, he's finding some extra grip down low, but really just setting it kind of a big block he's going to put there on Toder. Toder going to make contact with that of Tomasi and into the outside wall, but Tomasi holds strong. What I'm loving from Tomasi is coming through the exit of that of turn 2. He's going all the way down, basically on the apron to find that speed, but it's rim riding through 3 and 4 where there's that of the 91 is finding that speed to lead.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we wanted to see. It's going to happen. Somebody's going to win this thing. Somebody's going to be up high. Tanner Tomasi, 16:62, just read the fastest lap of this race. We'll see if anybody can beat that. As we keep talking about these fast laps, but we have to remind everyone that it is the fast lap of that particular race. So, you see those fast laps, particularly early on in the race, but question is, will you see them later on in the race once the track even gets more worn out? That's what we're looking to see.
Cottle right now, the 55, going to be in the white right behind that of the 29 machine. Got to say, Cottle has been trying to stay slow, methodical here, working his way slowly up. I'm very concerned for that of Brett Evans, who got the pole position, got the pole award when we qualified earlier in Heat 1, automatically pushed his way in, but he was running on the freshest track. That one-on-one's got to find some extra speed for himself, but this is one of the first times he's truly gained that experience on a track that's been this worn down as yellow flag waves here for our featured race.
And it looks like the Gulper probably going to be Trent Hutchings. Is just major contact back here into the fence, and oh my goodness. We're just going to send him, that game, Will, or Monopoly, where you just go straight to prison or jail or whatever it is? Well, he's going straight to the emergency room. He's not passing the checkered flag or anything after a wilding ride like that.
I don't think that is one of the things. If an accident like that happens, we love the fact that that fence is there to protect audience members, and also we love the fact that this is virtual racing on iRacing. So luckily no one should have gotten hurt unless they have their force feedback absolutely cranked up on their steering wheels, which usually dirt racing, you don't want too much force feedback working, because you really want to be able to work that wheel as fast as possible, especially when you start to feel that car just wanting to drift on you. But man, that was a hard contact, and we'll see how well those drivers can come back from that incident, if they even can, as I don't think that many drivers are going to be able to come back.
Yeah, I think that is a lost cause of that at this point for him. But right now, the battle is still good as the green flag comes back out up there between Tomasi, Toder, Cottle, Evans, Fields. We haven't seen a whole lot of Floyd up there yet. We'll see if he makes his way. But look at this three-wide battle going on for about 4th position. These guys are fighting for everything, tooth and nail. That is actually for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th position in here, and nobody is wanting to give up anything.
2 wide, 3 wide, why not even try 4 wide here at Bristol in the dirt, and these super late models are putting it down here tonight. On the outside, here comes Soder, trying to give a bump to that of Cottle, and Cottle got to be careful for the 55, but it's going to be that of Tanner Tomasi who's gone, as they're 3 wide, using all the different lanes, everywhere you can go, find the speed, find an opening, and they are trying to win the race. Then you get a ticket to the Spring Fling 2022 event, but that's only if you win. All these drivers right now, we're watching the battling for 5th on back. They're stacked up down low. Those drivers that are rim riding on the outside, they're getting some great runs to make these passes. Yeah,
and we'll go to the tower view. This is the battle. This is who they're chasing. That's Tanner Tomasi, and he has said, sayonara, see you later. Check out to the front, and he is just on the move, and he just ran the fastest lap with a 16.58. And everybody behind him, well, they're trying to chase him down. They are not going to be content with 2nd place. They want the win, and that's all that matters tonight is the win in this race and the next race, as they're really stacking it up, and that's what I figured would happen It's going to be Lyndon Whitfield's going to be your caution here for caution number 2.
And Lyndon Whitfield, the driver that had a very good run in his heat race, was able to steal away an opportunity, but gets spun around, and just like that, going to be parking it and then clobbered, and goes for a little, almost, got tilted around for a flip, but I was honestly, Whitfield was a driver that really surprised me during the heat races, snuck away last lap pass, I believe, to get by car that was for his heat race, and was able to make the pass and advance into this featured event. But with that type of a contact, it's almost seems impossible for a chance for the 21 to go out there for a chance to win, and hope you have to go into pit road, which is now leaving us with a total of 20 drivers still out on track. But I would say only about 18 to maybe 17 of them might be raceable for a chance to go after a win, but I don't know if there's anyone that can go after Tomasi at this point.
Now, he is on rails right now. If he can just hang on to this race and not do anything, to ruin the race for himself, I think he's got this one in the bag, and we'll definitely be talking to him a little bit later on if he does win this race. Regardless, we'd like to talk to a couple of drivers, but we for sure are going to be talking to the winner, because that's the person that's, they took it all. And we'll see as the green flag is back out. And this is going to stack the field up really close here. Now you got Ethan Toder and Cruz Cottle right there on his back bumper. So now that he has them there, can he hold on and hold them off?
And it's going to be seeing that of Toder working that outer lane. And Tomasi's got to be feeling frustrated. Saw that whole entire 2-second lap gap lead that he had over the rest of the field taken away in an instant, but now it's already up to 3/10 as the rest of the field just ripping the outside. That's where the speed has been, where a lot of drivers are searching now, is can we go down low to find any speed? That's where Tomasi's been doing a great job of just that exit of 1 and 2 is where he's really been going down low, touching the apron, looking for that moisture, and it's been working out great for the 91.
Yeah, it definitely has. Tanner's no stranger to putting that car in victory lane. If I'm not mistaken, we sponsored him into another race one time, a long time ago, many years ago. And he was actually the car that we used for our national anthem at one time as well. So, we've known him for quite some time, and he's still obviously got the speed that he had before. But right now, Ethan Toder is hot on his trail, but just can't quite get there. However, Ethan Toder, 16.54, just ran the fastest lap, so he actually, is a little bit faster. The question is, can he hold on and try to get this win? He's right there with him now.
Well, also, he might be a little bit faster, but it's always you can catch them, but it's so much harder to make the pass on these drivers. But Toder certainly has found a little bit of speed as he has kept it within 3/10. He lost some ground and gained it back. Now staying around this bubble, which is around striking distance, but yellow flag's going to wave. It's going to be seeing these drivers with an incident, going to be thrown out this yellow. That means we get to reset. And I would say for Tomasi, this might be the worst case scenario. This track has been completely used up, and it is at this point where drivers are going to be working with it, as we see an instant replay here of Parker Leak, who's going to be on the outside having a little bit of peekaboo action, and finding himself being spun around. If it's going to show us, as another one was put into pit road once the yellow was thrown.
And it looks like his peekaboo games are not going to allow us to see what he did. So I guess that means peekaboo him, he won, we lost. I'm not sure. Either way, unfortunately, not able to see what exactly happened there. And we're on lap 22 here, so we're counting down these laps pretty quick.
Yeah, we're going to be, once we go green, it will be on 22. Again, our ticker has been when we're under yellow, it adds the laps, but technically yellow flags are not counting, but we're only counting green flag laps. So we are officially on lap 21, as you see our ticker updating it back. Once we go green, it will be the start of lap 22. 75 laps here tonight. It's all about getting the win. We have a doubleheader here tonight. This is only race number 1. We had heat races, we had B mains, all set up for this featured race, and it's going to be Tomasi getting a little bit of a bump there from Calder, and we're now going to be green. But watch out for that 29 in second place. Here comes that run, and Fields as well going to be right there on the inside, trying to make that 007 making some moves.
Yeah, and the thing we have to wonder, we didn't even ask Will. I don't know if this race is fixed or open setup. I didn't get that information from him, but if this is open setup, these guys are setting their cars up on their own. You got someone like Toter, Fields, Cottle, Blake Murray. These guys back there, they could have set their car up for a used-up track, even more than it's used up right now, and they may come to life later on in this race. So we'll try to get confirmation on that, but, that could be what we're seeing here.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that of Murray, he's our biggest mover right now, up 13 positions is the 79, but he's going to be back in 4th place, up another position of 14, and he's finding that outer lane is really working for that 79. He's finding something up there, and Charles, that's going to be a scary thought for these drivers, of a driver that started so much farther back, finding some extra speed and running well, but if you look at the lap times that are being put down, it's not comparable at all. Really, our front three are in a league of their own.
Yeah, they are definitely in a league of their own right now. Is that, like you said, they have checked out, and we are getting confirmation it is open, just like the actual spring fling will be. So these guys very well could be setting their setups for that long run, trying to get to the front when the track is more slicked off. We could see a whole different leader later on in this race.
Yeah, it really wouldn't be surprising to me if we see someone else come in and really shake things up, especially if we get another late yellow coming out. But there are a couple of drivers that are dealing with some extra damage after some of the contact. That may be something to watch out for, as that of Dylan Hauser, someone that I thought we were going to see a little bit more speed from as well. Seeing the 101 of Brent Evans, you can tell that 101 was set up for a very clean track. The dirtier it got, the slower he was getting and more in trouble, we saw from our pole sitter.
Yeah, I really did. I expected to see a little bit more out of Dylan Hauser. Maybe we will later on in this race, as the yellow flag does come out, and it looks like for Dalton potentially, as we'll take a look and see where he is, and we'll go to the yellow flag. And I believe it was Dalton involved in this one. We'll see. He did go directly to the pits, did not pass the yellow flag, so we'll see what happened to him, as he's just kind of riding along at the bottom and just loses it all on his own. And right about here would probably be when he triggered, because he is very slow on the track, and he will take it to the pits. His night is done.
Yeah, and also I believe there might have been Quinlan, who could have been another driver, as we've seen multiple drivers out of this race now. Justin, that of Winslow going to be out of this thing. Hibdon, Leak, also that of Wyman going to be drivers that are out of this race. And for a couple of them, it's been too much damage. They're going to call it at least a race. There is another one that's going to be happening immediately after we're done with this featured race and interviewing our winner and potentially top 3. But as well, these drivers only have 8x or 8 incident points. You get incident points by making contact with the wall and other drivers. The power, aggressiveness, and damage that you take on from those hits, that's the amount of incident points that you can be grabbing. And if you go over 8, you get disqualified and you're done. About half the drivers that have been noted on that are out of this race, they are done for the night. And if you look at our ticker, it's when they're grayed out, that is when they are no longer on the racing surface. But up front, Tomasi going to be the driver. Still, these drivers are trying to figure out how to beat. And right now, he is looking strong after winning heat number 3. He has been looking good all night long.
Yeah, he has been looking extremely good. And again, I'm kind of looking forward to talking to Tanner. It's been a long time since I've got to sit down with Tanner Tomasi and ask him. Just put it this way: the last time, I was announcing the last time I got to talk to him, and well, that's been at least year and a half, 2 years since I've technically been on the mic as the green flag comes back out. So that should tell you how long it's been since we've had a big dirt race. Probably 2019, 2020, something like that.
Yeah, it was before I officially got integrated fully into LSRTV, since that's happened. But it's going to be Tomasi. Donald's going to be. Donald's going to be the driver in second place. Cottle and also Fields going to be side by side. And also Murray and Barber is going to be another driver to watch out for. And that of the 223 that's making some runs and shifts here, but these are the drivers that are around that 5th place position as well as the battling for 3rd. They've got to find a way to get up front. If you want the ticket to race for the Spring Fling for free, $80 of value, and all these drivers came in for free, you've got to win this featured race. 2nd, 3rd, it doesn't matter. If you're not in 1st, hey, you've got to try for that next race later on.
Yeah, if you're not first, you're last at this point, basically, is how it's going to go down. Is everybody trying to be Tanner Tomasi right now? Is he going to try to lock himself in? And, man, these guys back here, they got to be racing hard. Again, we keep harping on it over and over. They only have an 8x incident limit, so they can't just, wreck everybody to get by. One, race control would just give them the boot. They've already done it to one driver. But, you've also got to keep your car clean, and you can't get those incidents, too. We're on lap 36 of 75, so laps are winding down. So the further we get into this race, Sam, and the further you are back, the harder you're going to drive that car.
Yeah, and right now, the low 7 on the outer lane, that's going to be Jacob Fields, who's doing a great job for himself. And I'm watching also on my end, seeing the line that of Tanner Tomasi's putting down. Oh, no! Cardwell's going to be spun around, go facing the wrong way as the field comes on by. That's going to be bringing out another yellow here as we were getting to halfway of this race.
Yeah, we're just about there, and we'll see what happened on the Pulse Poppers replay, and just gives him a little punt, and around he goes. Luckily, he didn't hit anything, and, well, nobody hit him, so that's a good thing. But you see him having the backup, and look at the difference in this track. You see where they don't race down on the bottom and where they are racing, and just look how black and slick off this track is. It is utterly worn out. And that's making it tougher on these drivers because, the more it gets slicked off, the less grip you have. And, the slightest little bump can spin you around, just like we saw there with the 56.
Yeah, a slightest little bump, as well as if you just turn your wheel a little bit too far to go turning in left and not able to, correct it the proper way, you can be finding yourself spinning around and having issues. When we were watching that replay, though, I think the biggest credit's got to go to this 2 machine, that of Hauser. It is so difficult when you are in the middle of a turn to turn back up and be able to avoid another driver. Hauser did that perfectly. And we'll see if the 2 who's been slowly trying to march his way forward, same can be said for that of Barber. They've been both working together quite well through this field, but they got the 2 fastest drivers in the up front as we are green halfway here tonight.
And we are back to green, and we said Dylan Hauser, house of speed. He needs to show us that speed. He's showing it right now. I don't know if the fans out there can hear my squeaky chair. I do apologize. Hey, usually I'm not on the mic, so it doesn't matter what everyone hears on my end, but a little WD-40 might go a long way. But here we go as Hauser's still trying to get by. He's right there for second, but he just can't quite get Tanner Tomasi, and nobody really has been able to all night long.
And Tomasi, he's been trying to search as well. That's the big thing as the leader, is you kind of are in a disadvantage at times, especially dirt racing here on iRacing, is you have to be the dictator of where the speed is. And this comes from experience of figuring out how the track can evolve. If you've got a lot of drivers, full field racing, you can tell, okay, at lap 30, I've got to move down low. Lap 40, maybe I got to move a little bit higher. And for this of Tanner Tomasi, you can tell he's searching. He's up high through that of 3 and 4. He then goes dropping down low through 1 and 2. And what he's looking for is that real light dirt color where he can find that grip to really get back into the throttle. But as you can see, there's really nothing there when he goes through 1 and 2.
Yeah, there's just nothing left for him to find. So he's going to keep searching, but I think this treasure hunt's over. He just needs to hang on to what he has. And if he does that, he'll be sitting in victory lane, lap 43 of 75. But we still have a whole another race to go. Again, surprise us, we don't know how many laps it's going to be. So it's kind of like Christmas in February or what month? April. We're in April. I should know it's my birthday month. Christmas as the caution comes out, so somebody's not getting a Christmas present. It looks like Jake Colley and Chance Carr are going to be involved in this one as we take a look at the Pulse Poppers instant replay and figure out what happened. There's a lot of dust flying right there, though.
A lot of dust going to be thrown up in the air.
Oh.
Oh, that's the aftermath, and just not able to really see. Two other drivers going to be involved with that one. That was Carr that was stuck in the outer wall. Take another look. These are the drivers racing for that 8th, 9th position. Fields, others, contact into the wall. And just like that, nowhere to go. Now the drivers get piled in later on. But yeah, I mean, I also want to give big thanks to all those that are joining us and watching, as this is Easter Sunday. So for those that were with family or got out there to go Easter egg hunting, thank you for joining us here tonight to be watching some great dirt track racing action. Our doubleheader here this evening. The winner of the featured race for our doubleheaders get a free ticket to race for the Spring Fling 2022 event later on this year. And right now, Tanner Tomasi set to and very poised at the moment to try to take at least that first ticket of 2 that we have here tonight.
Yeah, he is very poised to try to do it. And, yeah, I think he can do it. Then again, Dylan Hauser's on the move right now, so we'll see. The real question is, does he have time to do it? We are running close on laps, and, I would imagine, from second back to however many 40 drivers we had, we're going to see a lot of them reappear in the second race as well. There's nothing on the line other than if you win, you get something. If you lose, you didn't lose anything. So, it's kind of like, free money. It is free money. Wouldn't you like to go to the casino, Sam, and win money and not have to lose anything?
And that's what you love to see, is whenever you can have an opportunity of, hey, just take a free spin, see what happens. You get whatever rewards you get. And that's practically what these drivers got. But it is not just a free spin. It's get out there, show your talent. And it's going to be the 29, put up into the outside wall, losing positions. Tomasi's got to be careful. You talked about Hauser. He's now up to second.
Yeah, Hauser, again, that house of speed on the move for that number 2 machine. And he is right there. He's going to take it to the inside, try to make a slide job. Not quite there, as it looks like Tanner Tomasi is just a little bit faster on the top side. But Tomasi, this is the first time he's really had any competition all feature long.
Yeah, this is the first time he's had someone side by side, at least into this long of a run. A little bit of contact's going to be made. Dylan Hauser gets that of the 91 a little bit loose, and Hauser, he's going to fight. They're going to stay side by side. That lap going to be going to Tomasi, but only by just that of a few thousandths of a second, as Hauser, that back bumper of Tomasi's got to be worrisome, because that too, he's right there willing to make some bumps.
And he's just got to beat him on the straightaway. That time it will go to Hauser to lead that lap. So that's the first lap in this feature that Tanner Tomasi has not led. He is going to have to do something. He may have to ruffle Dylan Hauser's feathers just a little bit, give him a shot in the short, something to get by him. Oh, as he edges him out of the line.
That time by 17 thousandths of a second, and it goes to Tanner Tomasi. And Tomasi, the longer this run goes on, the better chances of Hauser actually trying to go for a slide job move. And the crossover going to be watched out here, but the run out of the corner across the line still goes to Tomasi. And Tomasi knows, that time by 19 thousandths of a second, you might not have to fully make the pass. All you need is a nose. And Tomasi, he's loving the outer groove.
Yeah, that old saying, beat him by a fender. Well, he may do it by a nose or a fender. But you see right there, I think that was a calculated move by Dylan Hauser in the number 2 machine. He definitely looked like he let Tanner Tomasi have that spot back. And he's not going to let him have the spot. What he's doing is he's setting him up for another run.
Yeah, it's going to take about 3 to 4 laps to try to figure out, okay, where is the positioning I need to place myself? How is Tomasi running these laps? How do I get underneath, or potentially, how do I steal his line? Get to the outside of him, one of these corners, and have an opportunity. But right now, 4/10 back, and you can hear how bumpy this track is. The straightaways are so incredibly bumpy. It's kind of, you wouldn't think that it is, but you can see they're riding along right when you get back into the throttle. These cars just want to rattle up in that outer wall. You've got to be in complete control at all times. It's kind of hard when your wheels are not touching the ground with all this bouncing around.
And, I said, he kind of backed off to let him go and maybe have another run at him. But he may have just hit a rut and got a little out of sorts there, because he has fallen way back now to about 0.8 seconds away. So a lot more than I thought. Someone down on the apron, as it looks like Jake Coley is going to be done here for tonight. But here shortly, we may see Hauser under attack from Ethan Toder if this race continues the way it is. And again, now over a second gap to Tanner Tomasi. He has just checked out again.
Yeah, Tomasi, like we noted on, he's been in his own little world, and he was always going to be a driver for us to watch out for. We looked at the list of names, there were a majority of them we didn't know. Tomasi, though, was the name that stuck out of, hey, we know this guy, we know he's fast, and that translated. It certainly has here tonight. But the goal, again, we've seen it multiple times here in this featured race. The yellow always can strike, but currently right now, seeing ourselves with just that of 12 drivers on track currently, as the 44 of Jake not looking like he'll get back out on track. Too much damage for himself. He'll reset, get prepared for our next event. Again, double-header racing. This is only the first race here at Bristol. Then we're going to move over to a different track after this. And it's all about whoever wins the featured event, they get a free ticket to go race the Spring Fling 2022. And for Tanner Tomasi, they'd love to take that value. $80 on the line, and you didn't even have to put a cent in here for tonight. And the 91's looking clean at the moment.
Yeah, he's pretty much checked out. We'll go back a little bit, give these guys a little airtime. Right at the moment, not in the running for that ticket, but still, they made it to the feature, and that's an honorable mention in my book, as you got the 101 just back there, just beating and banging of Brent Evans. He did a good job. Again, winning his heat, just unfortunately it hasn't gone the way he wanted after that. But these guys back here in the top 10, Chase Caudle, Cruz Caudle, sorry, back there, Chase Barba back there, Jace Floyd, all these guys doing an amazing job, especially as rough as this track is. You can see the cars just bouncing around everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it is aggressive, especially coming out of the corner. That's where these drivers got to be the most nervous, but also we're starting to see a lot more dust being picked up because of how much wear and tear has gone on this track. It's just dry, slick, and everything that gets kicked up is just the dust. That's just the residue left on this track. As we ride on board with our pole sitter, that of Brett Evans, who, like we noted on, has just been trying to catch up and rebound. He didn't have the best run for himself, but behind the 101, we might be seeing a yellow as the driver spun around. That's going to be Barber who's going to be having issues for that 23. No yellow is thrown. Issues for drivers further back that we're hoping for a better day.
Yeah, and it looks, yeah, he is definitely wrecked. But like you said, no caution being coming out for it. The highest battle we have going on right now is for about fourth position between Fields and Countermarsh. Those two doing it, but again, just check out. I mean, biggest lead of the race, 2.6 seconds ahead of Dylan Hauser is Tomasi. We're coming in on the last a few laps. What do we got, 10-ish laps to go right now?
Yeah, with 10 laps to go now, we have hit the mark coming up to 9. And also lap traffic, something we haven't really talked about as a factor. That's going to be Zach McLaughlin, who's going to be the driver in that 11 machine down low. We'll see if McLaughlin's just going to get out of the way or continue to race, try to stay on the, at least keep a lap, as McLaughlin now goes 8 laps down for that 11 machine, who was running quite well for the heat races, also for the main. But once we got to the featured event, the 11 caught up in too much trouble. And that's the big thing for these drivers going into this next race. Tomasi looks good. He's got that gap that continues to just raise every single lap. But for everyone else that might come back for the next race, that is, again, our doubleheader here this evening, one more ticket to be given out, I think they've learned you want to have the better positioning up front, which means you got to qualify well and then also finish up front in your heat race if you want a chance to go for a win.
Yeah, as we'll hang with that. And these laps just winding down here, coming up to 5 laps to go. And having to check, I can't remember where we said we were going after this one. If we'll see if we can't pull it up from my own recollection here. And these are requested tracks, and that's why we're going to them. Is well, there we go. Now we got it. We are going to Eldora for race number 2. So Earl may have built the track, but Tony Stewart runs it now, and we're going to invade it here in just a little bit.
I mean, Eldora, you think of dirt track racing, and I think Eldora is almost always the first one that comes to mind for me. Now it's Bristol Dirt with how much they've been pushing that since last year. But Tyler Tomasi, been an incredible run for him here tonight. Again, all these drivers, they knew what the goal was. Go for the win. Tomasi is certainly, maybe didn't qualify as well. Got placed in the third heat here tonight. Dominated that heat. Found himself qualified for third for this featured event because of winning heat number 3. And now coming up to the white flag for our first race of our doubleheader and trying to stamp his ticket to go to race for the Spring Fling 2022.
Yeah, an amazing job. And you got to remember, these guys didn't know about this race till last night. So, they didn't just have an abundance of time to go build a setup. Maybe they already had one. As he takes the checkered flag, he will be the winner of that ticket. But they did not have a lot of time prepared for this. And that was the whole point behind the race. What Ray says was, we're going to go out there and we're just going to throw this out there. We're not going to give you time to prepare and let the cream of the crop, or cream rise to the top.
That's certainly what we saw here tonight. Tanner Tomasi going to be taking the first win of our duels here tonight. And it's going to be taking their first of 2 tickets for these races. You win the featured race, you get a ticket to go race for the Spring Fling. And Tanner Tomasi is going to take that one. Tanner Tomasi, I would imagine he's not going to be racing in Eldora, but his night is already done. For the rest of the drivers that we have seen here qualify, did all the heat races, well, they got one more race, one more opportunity, one more ticket. That's going to be at Eldora in just a few. As we're going to try to get Tanner Tomasi up in the booth for interviews. But Charles, that's one race down, and it was a good one.
Yeah, it definitely was a good one. We will step away for just a moment. When we come back, we will be at the next track, and hopefully we'll have a chance to talk to Tanner Tomasi here in just a moment. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got our top 2 finishers from the Bristol featured event here tonight. The goal again is get the win, and Tanner Tomasi got it done. But coming in second place, who we're going to talk to first is going to be Dylan Hauser, who comes in with a great run. Dylan, you didn't qualify the way you wanted. Biggest mover of the night in our first featured race, up 17 positions from where you started in that featured race. But man, tell us how that car was feeling, because you were flying there in that first half of the race.
Yeah, it felt good. We didn't really prepare a whole lot for this race. It was like a last minute deal, but I don't have a whole lot of laps at Bristol. I've only ran here probably a handful of times. But yeah, I qualified 4th and then was just being dumb trying to test the top in the heat race to win it, and it didn't work, and then junked at the finish line. They gave me EOL for the B main, so drove from the back of the B, made it through that, and then started tail of the feature and just try to put in clean laps and drive through the field. And I was there, but I didn't have nothing for the leader there, so he had a good car, and he was able to run the top a lot better than I was, and I was just content with running the bottom. I didn't want to move around and try stuff, and I was just hoping his stuff would fall off, and it never did, so good job to him.
Well, Dylan, we got one more race here tonight. Eldora, how you feeling about going into that race, trying to go for a win?
I mean, I feel good anywhere I go for a win. Not really prepared. Since I've been back racing, I haven't had a whole lot of time to test on these tracks in the slick and make sure things are how I want them to drive. Like in that feature there, I was driving way too crooked. The car wasn't straight as I would like it to be. So we'll go into Eldora. We'll try to fine tune it on the fly, and hopefully we hit on something right there and get the job done.
Well, Dylan, it was a strong run. Second place, just missed that 1-by-1 position. But before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Yeah, all my sponsors, LTX Homes, 3D Racing, House of Speed iRacing setups. You guys need a setup, check us out, houseofspeed.us. We got big block, modified, late model sprint cars, street stocks, UMPs, we got it all. We got schools, we got paints, we can do whatever. If anybody wants to sponsor us for the Fling, get at me. We're still looking for sponsors for it, so appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thanks for the race. Thanks for VLR for giving the tickets away. You guys for broadcasting, and Steve and Duvall for putting it together.
That's going to be that of Dylan Hauser, coming away second place for the 2 machine. We now head over to Victory Lane, the driver that won the first. That is the Spring Fling 2022 ticket. We got Tanner Tomasi. Tanner, you won your heat race, then you come out here, you get the lead, and no one seemed to be touching you. Dylan almost made a pass, but how are you feeling after that race here tonight?
Oh, dude, I felt perfect. It's a huge confidence booster, especially going into pro qualifiers next week and the Fling coming up. You know, I don't have a whole lot of laps at Bristol. You know, they just updated. I think I made my first laps there yesterday, so just kind of threw this setup together and hit on something, and it was just perfect all night.
I mean, Tanner, we saw you were searching a high, low, everywhere you could find speed. Where were you enjoying the most running here at Bristol?
Honestly, the car was just perfect everywhere. Like, I could put the car anywhere I wanted to, and it just gripped up. Like, I didn't have a problem at all driving it. The only thing that kind of got me was there's a little bit of a berm building up out of 4, and, you know, everyone was pushing tight up there, and I guess I was the only one that was able to make it work, and, you know, it paid into my favor.
Well, Tanner, it was a fabulous run. Congratulations on your win and getting the ticket. Before we let you go, though, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for the broadcast, everything that Steven and them do to put all this up, VLR for the ticket giveaway. Speed Ranch E-Setups, my setup shop, we've been working really, really hard, putting in all this time to make sure that these cars are fast and stable for everybody. And if they aren't comfortable, we sit down and we talk to them and we help them get comfortable. Everyone at Max Street, Travis St. Clair, Brandon Freeberg, Jamie Gilpin, Cody Sieber, Ryan Adkins, Damian Kiefer and I have been working together, so you know, shout out to him for everything that we've been swapping. And Shock I-12, Kent Hunley, 309 Designs, Daddy Bo over at Ledbetter Performance, Richard Allen, Colt Zabansky, Terrell Payne, Jesse Hogue, Dustin Styler, Aaron Johnson, and everybody else behind the scenes, don't forget.
And Sam, real quick, I didn't cut you off. Tanner, I have to talk to you. I haven't got to talk to you in a long time, bro.
Yeah, it's been a fat minute. I think it's been since like 2 years ago since we talked. We used to be pretty tight.
And, you know, we got this thing, and I do want to throw that, not to throw anyone under the bus, but, you know, it's technically LSRTV that's doing the giveaway. VLR is not. We are. But no, besides that, we're going to make sure you have an LSRTV logo on that car come race day. And I told you, Sam, about it. We had the throwback where he was our national anthem car. He even had LSRTV on there, and then the flag wave. It was a good ordeal back in the day. We're still waiting on the new lobby to go up. The question is, Tanner, are you going to try to go and get 2 of them again? Try to win it again just because you can?
Nah, I think I'm going to sit back and watch this one and let somebody else try to have some glory for a minute.
Well, there you go. And, Sam, he definitely needs to let somebody because he kind of dominated that last one. But I had to come in and say hi to him. It's been, years since I've got to sit down and talk to Tanner. But, from myself and LSRTV, congrats. I will be getting a hold of Stephen Calavoda and getting your name sent over to them to get that ticket in your name. Again, congrats on the win from myself.
I appreciate it, man. That's badass. We should work out a deal sometime together.
There you go. And Sam, I know we're going to hang out over here and call it from the Discord instead of TeamSpeak. It's just a lot more convenient for the drivers. But that lobby should be going up here, I would imagine, in just a few moments. We'll be talking to Will Duvall about that. But overall, it's been a great first race. And I'm looking forward to that second.
Yeah, I mean, we got to see that of 3 heat races, 3 mains, and as well a 75-feature race that Tanner Tomasi has taken away, taking the first free ticket. All you got to do is win, and you get it. Well, there's only one more ticket left here tonight. That's going to be at Eldora, and Charles, I'm so excited for it. It's going to be a fun one to watch at Eldora, but after that race, I mean, you got to think Hauser's got to be one of the favorites to watch out for. Fields was coming in there late. There's a lot of strong drivers that maybe didn't get the finish that they wanted because Tanner Tomasi was just cruising and beating everybody. But, hey, there's still a lot of things out there to be grabbed as Will Duvall's going to be joining us. Will, what do you got for us?
Well, the next race is should be firing off any second now as soon as iRacing catches us up.
It is indeed. I'm actually already on my way in right now. I love you, Will, like a brother, but you could have given us more time to get on the plane to fly from, Bristol to Eldora. That's a little bit of a trip.
Well, I figured it's Sunday night. Some of us got to work in the morning, so I'm moving things along.
Well, there you go. Sam, hopefully you're in first class. I know I am as well on this trip to Eldora. But we will be there shortly, and I expect to see another really good race here. Eldora always provides good racing. Again, just the historic factor of Eldora is just amazing. You have Bristol with all this newness. You have Eldora with all its oldness, but still awesome. So 2 really iconic tracks.
They're extremely iconic, and like we were hearing from the drivers, from that of Dylan and also Tanner, I mean, they both were saying this is not a track that Bristol where they felt like they had got a lot of experience. Eldora, on the other hand, it has been on iRacing for quite a long time. The setups, maybe they're not as in tune with because everyone has been changing things up so much recently, but I gotta say, I think a lot of the drivers, they're just excited the fact that they might be going to a track where they might feel just a little bit more familiar with.
Yeah, and I've been waiting all night to do this one thing. We've done it once already, but I've been waiting all night to be able to do this, Sam. And, I know you're probably as excited to see it as I am. But that is this very simple thing. We are in the instant, just the blink of an eye, going to do this. And voila, we are now at Eldora.
Oh, we are here. We're ready for racing action. Eldora, the historics of this track. I mean, you think of so many special events that have been put on, charity events, major racing events as well. Everyone prepared and ready here at Eldora. And again, same format that we just did. We're going to be having these drivers have a little bit of qualifying practice. A little bit of practice time for themselves. Then we're going to have qualifying for 3 minutes. Then we're going to have heat races. We're going to then have B mains, C mains, and B mains if needed when we get to those. And then we get to a 75-lap featured event once more. It's 75 laps. And we had quite a few cautions at Bristol, but here at Eldora, they are going to be flying even faster here at this course.
Yeah, they are going to be moving. Again, I really like Eldora. I don't know why I like this track so much. Maybe it's because I'm a big Tony Stewart fan. I just love it. And it's always produced good racing. So I'm hoping we'll see that here tonight. Maybe we won't see as many rocket ships here as we did at Eldora or at Bristol Dirt, because we sent some people to the emergency room earlier tonight.
There were a lot of major flips. We're hoping that's going to be calmed down just a little bit. I mean, when I think of Eldora, this track, I think the first time I really, when I was growing up, was really into NASCAR for the longest time. But when I first heard Eldora, it was for, remember the pay-per-view event, the prelude to the Dream back in 2007 when they were racing late models at Eldora, and we had a bunch of NASCAR drivers coming out, also professional dirt drivers coming out. That was back when I first heard about this track, and ever since then, it is a blast to watch. You had trucks that then hit this course. It's going to be a fun one.
It is definitely going to be a fun one for sure, and they will run this practice off, and they're not just running this practice out just to run it out. BJ or Wildval, depending on how you know him, the guy that tells you can't do something on a racetrack. Well, again, whatever your name is for him, I'm sure there are several, depending on if you've been in trouble or not in trouble on the racetrack. But what he's doing right now is what you would do at a actual track. He is letting these guys, or actually not letting them, he is telling them to go out there and work this track in. You see a lot of people, everybody at the high side right now, they're telling them, get this worked in on the high side, get it worked in on the bottom, just like you would see at a local track. When the track is sloppy and wet, you tell them to go out there, roll it in certain areas, that way that gets worn in evenly instead of just everybody going out there and doing one thing. So that's what they're doing right now, and we saw it earlier, produced for good racing, and if you do it here on iRacing, just like in real life, it will produce for some better racing.
Will, and also for these drivers, this is the cleanest the track's going to be. It starts out with 0%, just like what we did for the Bristol event. Then each time that they hit this track, the track's going to be evolving in that same track that they finished that last race on. It transfers over. So from end of Heat 1, well, that the way the track is the way that Heat 2 starts. And it continues to transfer all the way through until we get to our featured race, where it's going to be the most worn down, and it's going to continue to get torched, and that's going to be a fun thing to watch for these drivers. I think the one thing I'm most excited about here, Charles, though, is drivers had time to see, hey, one race is down, second race. There's going to be a couple of names that we didn't see during the Bristol race because they missed out. They showed up a little bit too late. They won this opportunity, but there's only one ticket left, and it's about who can win here for this featured event.
Yeah, there definitely are some names that didn't make that first one. Caden Reynolds, we didn't see him. Matthew Shelby, we didn't see him. We have seen Chase, Dylan in here. Lyndon, we've seen him in there. I don't remember if we had Scott Smith. I didn't pay that close attention. But Maverick Davison, we've seen him. We didn't see him. So, yeah, they're Mario Perez III. There are a lot. And some of these guys, like you said, may not have made it in time. Because of family dinners, whatever, because it is obviously Easter. And then you've got some others that, they just said, I don't like that track. I ain't going there. And they took up their car and they went to Eldora. So, there's a lot of reasons that some of these guys show up for one, don't show up for the other. But, if it was me, I would show up to both and double my chances of winning. But, these drivers know where their talent and where, their favorite track is. And if they don't feel comfortable, they're just not going to show up.
Yeah, and for some drivers, they feel comfortable coming to Eldora. Like I said, this is the track that's been on iRacing for quite a long time. That Bristol track had only been here for a year, and that's drivers still were not used to that course because it wasn't utilized very often. But here at Eldora, you're seeing them now. Everyone working that inner lane now. You talked about it. The outside was first. Now they drop to the bottom. That middle groove is where the drivers, I think, are going to be most likely running here for whenever we get to our heat races, which we're expecting to see at least 3. Potentially, we could be seeing 4 heat races if needed, where we're going to be seeing the top 3 automatically move on to the featured race. And then we're going to have 3 mains. We're going to be seeing a D, C, and B. And of those mains, only the top 5 will move on to the featured race. 75 laps is going to be the total for our featured race here tonight. And Charles, looking at the field right now, it's going to be that of Chase Barber, who's going to be on top of the board. Second, going to be Hauser, and then Cottle. And we're starting to see drivers that we saw fast at Bristol. They're looking quick still here when we move over to Eldora.
Yeah, there's those fast drivers that just wouldn't quite get to the front when you obviously had Tanner Tomasi there. You're going to see those move to the front. Some of these guys are probably thinking, all right, good, he's gone. I can get up here now, because you take that one fast guy out. It does good in the heat, does good in the mains, whatever, and it can change the whole dynamic. Then again, we could see more cautions here. A lot of things can play into how this race goes as a whole. So, we'll just have to really go by ear. It really is that way with dirt racing, and even racing in general. You never know what's going to happen.
Oh, you don't. And then we also saw that with, we looked back to just the race we just finished at Bristol. We saw that of Brett, Brett really running well. He won his first heat number 1, got the pole position for being placed in that heat, and then kind of fell off. I think that's going to be another thing to watch out for, is who's going to be fast when this track is at its cleanest, who might be falling off once it gets a little bit dirtier, and who's got that setup that is meant for the later runs here tonight. But we're starting to see a little bit more shuffling on who's on the top board, as some drivers that missed out on the first race, they're seeing themselves up front.
Yeah, well, John Ruggiero Jr., there you go. There's one of them D1RT drivers at the top of the boards. So good to see some more of them coming out here to join us tonight. And, a lot of these, we got Josh Fuller, Rocket Esports. So there are a lot of teams coming in here. Everlast Speed Team, Mecha Motorsports, Speedworks Media, Mad Droop Semi Sports. There are a lot out. Powerhouse, Performance Team Elite. There are Tanner Folds in here tonight racing. So, again, a lot of team aspects coming into this as well.
But I think the big thing we got to watch out for is going to be the number 70, 26 on our board currently. But Charles, I mean, that's kind of when you come into an event, we talked about how there's iRating numbers. Well, there's also licenses that you work through. You start at a rookie, then after doing enough safe races, that you can bump yourself up from a rookie to a D class, and then up to a C, up to a B. And most drivers, they cap out at A unless you're able to become pro level. Then you get to WC licenses. That's where we're going to be seeing that of Davin Carnwell, who's going to be a driver to really watch out for. When you see a driver come in with a pro license, they're always going to be someone to watch out.
Yeah, you get that World Championships or Black Stripe, as it's been referred to as. Definitely someone that you have to. And Davin Cardwell, no stranger to being here on iRacing. He's obviously very familiar with it. And, he's very familiar with the drama side of things, as well as Hayden Cardwell relation there. Not a lot of people's biggest fan. He was there, but Davin Cardwell, is related, but no, he steers clear of it. He tries to keep his nose clean and does a good job of it. And it's proven. He's made his way to the pro side of things. And we got some pretty heavy hitters here. You got Fields is back. You got Fields, Cardwell, Folds in this one. Rosario Jr., Hauser obviously back. So just like the last one, there's quite a few people that we don't recognize on the daily, but there's a lot of drivers in here that are big-time heavy hitters, and I think we'll see those guys work their way up to the front if they don't already qualify at the front based on heat racing.
For just basing off practice, top 10 drivers, only 4 of those drivers are in the top 10 raced in the Bristol event. Other 6, this is their one opportunity to see if they can get their free ticket to race at the Spring Fling 2022 or later on this year. But happy to say LSRTV sponsoring out these tickets, just trying to give an opportunity for the iRacing community. Instead of having to pay for your own ticket for a chance to race for the Spring Fling, and come out here, free racing action, 2 races, doubleheader. We just got finished with the Bristol event where that of Tanner Tomasi won that Bristol race with ease. It looked like at times there were moments where we saw Dylan Hauser showing a little bit of pace. He's going to be 4th currently on the board for this first practice, but Now is the opportunity, Charles. This is what we were setting up for. This kind of was a last-minute setup for the drivers and on our end, but I gotta say, it's been a smashing success so far with our first race, and we've got ourselves more heat races, mains, and as well our featured event later on.
Yeah, this is, the last chance. This is, put up or shut up time, to be frank, 'cause you've got to get the win here tonight. This is your last chance, at least for today anyway, to get a win. You never know. These little giveaways pop up randomly throughout the year sometimes, but the race is like in May, so it's not very far away. Next month, I believe. So I think May 9th and 11th or 8th and 10th or something like that. It's kind of weird. They skip a Sunday there. It's like Friday and Monday, I believe it is. So kind of, or Saturday and Monday, something like that. Very odd choosing of the days, but hey, we won't judge the days. We're just here to give away a ticket so somebody can try to go claim some big money in the form of $6,000.
Yeah, I mean, you come in, you don't have to pay for the ticket prices. You win one of these two races here tonight. Tanner Tomasi's already done that. He has a chance to basically say, hey, I came in free, and I came away with $6,000 if he could somehow find himself into the main event for that spring fling. But this is the first step for these drivers. One race down, one more to go here at Eldora, and it starts off with qualifying for 3 minutes for these drivers to get set up. And really all that qualifying is put down your fastest lap. You got 3 minutes to do so. Your fastest lap of 2 laps will be the one counted, but wherever you line up is where you can be placed for your heat, which means this could be very important for those. If you get the pole award you win Heat 1, you get that pole position for the featured event. Charles, I know we noted on it during the Bristol qualifying. It's not the most important thing, but it certainly can place you in a better positioning if you succeed in qualifying in a heat race for the featured event.
Yeah, you definitely. We mentioned it in the first race. It's not everything in qualifying, but like you said, you want to get yourself, a good starting position because it will put you further up in your heat race, and towards the front is good because that gets you away from some of the chaos that could be in the back. And doing a rough math as these guys are qualifying, it looks like in that last count there was at least 41 drivers, and we had 15 in the heat races, so we're looking at 3, potentially 4 heat races again. And if there's only 3 heat races, obviously there's going to be more cars per heat race. That being said, qualifying a little bit more important because if you qualify bad, you could be somewhere around 18th or 20th in a heat race.
Yeah, and that is not where you want to start at all, especially for these heat races. Only the top 3, and each heat race is only going to be 8 laps for yourself, and only the top 3 from the heat races automatically move on to the featured event. Then you are going to be placed into the main races where we're going to have a D, C, and B main, where the top 5 from those mains will be bumped up into our featured event. So right now, it's all about hitting your marks, and right now it's going to be that of Josh Fuller topping the board for now, with Ben Cartermarsh going to be in 2nd place, and also Adam Helbert going to be in that 3rd position for now. And those are the drivers that are going to be taking right now. If you're up in the top 3, those are going to be the drivers that are going to be up in the top 3. If you're pole right now for qualifying, you get to be starting pole for Heat 1. If you're 2nd, you get to start on pole for Heat 2. And if you're 3rd, you get to start on pole for Heat 3. Very important to make sure that you get the best qualifying runs that you can, as it's going to be Travis St. Clair moving up to 2nd place on the board.
Yeah, you definitely want those spots. As, like you said, Sinclair to 2nd, Josh Fuller is at the top. And right now, it looks like all but 2 have qualified. 2 are on track, while 1 left on track that hasn't do it, and that is, it looks like Colton Herbert, as he is on, well, now he's completed a lap as well. And qualifying's over, so only 2 drivers didn't put a lap down. We saw way more than that in the first race not put a lap down.
Yeah, I think it was a lot more of just unsure of themselves. But because this race has more drivers showing up, that means we're going to be utilizing all 4 heat races. We're not cutting one down. We're going to be utilize all 4 of them, as well as all 3 mains. So this is important. And up front, it's going to be that of Josh Fuller, going to have the pole award. But hey, you also got to make sure you hit the grid. If you miss the grid for these heat races, Charles, you're already going to be on the back foot, and most likely you're going to have to race through the mains.
Yeah, and that's the last thing you want to do is have to go through one of these mains, especially, just by missing your grid. It's, a simple thing. You have about a minute and a half, 2 minutes to get on grid, whatever it is. And you think, 2 minutes, I can go grab a drink real fast. We've seen it many times in the Northwest Racing Series and other events where we find out a driver messages us and says, man, I thought I had time to go to the little boys' room, or I thought I had time to go to drink, and they come back and they've missed their race.
Yeah, and right now, driver that we're waiting on is going to be that of Toby Zerks, who's going to be the last driver on the board as the pace truck is rolling. Josh Fuller, as well as Adam Hulbert, Brandon Freeberg, going to be that of seeing that of Cruz Candel, as well as Matthew Selbury, going to be your top 5. Jonathan Barrum is going to be in 6th, with that of Jaden Curse, as well as going to be seeing that of Tanner Folds, Justin Willows, as well as that of Connor McOwen, and also going to be Ian Goody, going to be your 11 drivers on track. Top 3 move on. Heat number 1 for our second dual race of the evening is on, and already going to be up front. Freeberg, he wants that lead position.
Yeah, these guys are not going to be holding back, and big shout outs. I think these are stock Iris and canvases. Ooh, the 55 gets a door slamming hard into the outside wall, but loving the cameras here at Eldora. We get a better shot of all these cars, and then they are 2 and 3 wide, and already we're taking to the top side, and we got our catfish down at the bottom, just trying to get any and everything they can down there, just like a catfish. And look at them, they're all beating and banging. Wow.
That's going to be seeing the 171 of Freeberg, who's going to be on the inside. A hard contact with Hulbert, but it's going to be staying strong, pointing in the right direction, and then continue to move forward. Yes, that was some hard contact, but those are going to be your top 3 right now. It's going to be Josh Fuller, Hulbert, and Freeberg for now, but Freeberg's got to be careful because he's got some heavy competition behind.
Yeah, he has got a ton of heavy competition right behind him, and look at these guys. They're just going sideways, left and right. Right now, 15:67. As Josh Fuller just took the fastest time of this particular heat race number 1. See if he can hang on to that. And heat races mean a lot more if you can manage to get in those top 3 to advance. We'll see Fuller, Hulbert, and I'm trying to see, I need some glasses here. Freeberg, Brandon Freeberg in the 3rd position. And Connor McGowan, it looks like he has wrecked, but no caution will come out for that.
No, going to be continuing to stay green, and that's a big thing because if we put fact that we're staying green, allowing these drivers to keep on racing on. Once we get to that white flag, this race for Heat 1 is going to be official. As we get a yellow before the white flag is thrown, we'll go into overtime. We saw that for the first race, first heat for the Bristol. Well, that's not going to happen here tonight for Eldora. Fuller is gone by 1.1 seconds, and it continues to grow into 3 and 4.
And we told you to look out for those D1RT or those Rocket Esports. And the Rocket Esports kind of their backup team, or I guess B team you would say, not backup. But Josh Fuller from Rocket Esports going to pick up the win here, followed by Adam Matthew. And then it's going to go straight to the next one. So we'll get to that one. But top 3 advancing. Top 3 going to advance from heat number 2 as well.
Yeah, Heat 1 for the drivers going to be that of Fuller, also that of Hulbert, as well as Selby going to be those 3 drivers moving on. As it's going to be St. Clair, Whitfield, as well as Quillen going to be your top 3, with Herbert, Bam going to be as well as that of Maverick, Davidson, and Floyd, Kelsey, as well as Maddie and Lee, has had a lot more of other drivers getting ready for this heat number 2. I want to step aside real quick here. Charles, have fun with heat number 2, though.
Will do, and we'll have Sam back here momentarily as the pace car fixing their pace truck, fixing to take off. But cars decided they want to go ahead and go anyway, as he's going to get a head start on the pace truck. But the pace truck is off as we get ready to start heat race number 2. For the ones out there tuning in here, we haven't done it all night. Let us know where you're tuning in from. As we got some beating and banging going on at the front here. People trying to beating those tires and end up slamming into each other. But, we haven't done it. Let us know where you're from. And, of course, just who you cheering for. Let us know. And we do apologize as the green flag comes out. Our intervals are cut off. Not sure what's doing it. This is a kind of a test version. I think it's an older set that we are working on. But we do apologize. Apologize for the coughing in your ears as well. But we are racing here on lap number 1 of 8. As things are just getting underway here for race number 2 of this particular track. And of course, for the night, this is the second track of the night. Somebody going to be walking away with an $80 gift worth of racing. That is their ticket to Spring Fling, and they're battling for the lead right now. I've set it out right now. Landon Whithill going to have a 15:85 fast lap of the session, and it looks like Alex Robinson is going to have a little bit of trouble. Is still currently not going to bring out a caution as he is now out of the race. And we'll see how this one goes. Again, Sam will be back with us momentarily. I had to step away. My guess is there is some good cheese fries down in the concession stand. Hopefully he shares when he gets back and sends some my way as well. Just taking a look. Let's go on board. We haven't done it much here tonight. As we go to the roll bar cam, you're on board with Lyndon here, and we'll see. Just look at all the dust flying up right now. Just crazy how much dustier this track is than the first track, and it's also slicking off a little bit faster, it looks like, as well. So we're looking to see who takes to the top side, who takes to the bottom side, and who will be sitting in victory lane as we are coming up to get to white flag here for heat race number 2. White flag going to be out in the air as they come to the line right there. White flag is out. 1 to go with the battle still underway for that race lead right now. It is Travis Sinclair that has it, and he hang on to it from Whithill. We'll see. It's going to be side by side. No, it's not. It's going to be given to Whithill, followed by Sinclair and Quillen. Quillen going to be the top 3. Moving on to the feature race. Everyone else going to be going through one of the 3 B mains here tonight.
Yeah, just like that, Heat 2 is done. Heat 3 coming right back at you. It's going to be that Bet Countermarsh going to be taking that second position here for Heat number 3. And also going to be seeing that of Devin Cardwell. Going to see what we could see from the 70 machine, as well as some other very speedy drivers. I mean, each heat you look through and you're just like, I feel like at least 7 of these drivers should be able to make it through easily.
Yeah, I think they should indeed. You mean, I may have to get me some water here in a minute. But for the moment, we're good. Again, we got Davin Cardwell in this one. John Ruggiero Jr. going to be in this one. So got some good heavy hitters in this one as well. So definitely looking forward to see how this race plays out. And this is already Heat 3, Sam, of 4. We are rocking and rolling here tonight. I may still have time to order DoorDash after this.
That's exactly why I had to run away, is go grab mine, as these drivers are getting prepared for themselves. Cutter Marsh going to be in the 12 up front. But yeah, like we said, this is heat number 3. We've got 4 heats for ourselves. All heat races are going to be 8 laps. Then we're going to have 3 mains, where the drivers are going to be finding themselves with 12 laps for each of those mains. Top 3 in the heat races move on to the featured event. Top 5 from that of the mains move forward, as Carnage and also Cardwell going to be getting out the go. We are green here for heat number 3.
Heat number 3 is out. They're underway here. And again, it's been some great racing. We haven't seen the cautions that we've seen in the other one. I'm out on some wood. I got a nice wood desk. So we haven't seen the cautions that we've seen in the first race. So hopefully that holds out. You know, maybe this track's just more indicative to cleaner racing. Maybe these guys realize we've got to race clean if we want to be up at the front. So we'll see how that goes. And see right there, I thought we were about to see 2 cars collide together, but they didn't. But we've seen in the last one, while you were grabbing my food for me, we saw side-by-side battling for the lead. We're seeing it again here already as they're going to go 3 wide, almost 4 wide for the lead.
It's 2 by 2, 2 rows deep, and it's going to be seeing that Kennemarsh going to be taking the front point. But the 70, here comes Cardwell, going to be on the inside, down it low, down into turn number 3, almost 3 wide. That for first place, and a dive bomb move, watch out. Further back for 4th, that's going to be Caden Reynolds, who looks to be going with a head of steam for himself. But also for 3rd, it's going to be seeing that of Chase Barber, who's looking fast in the 23. What's interesting to watch here, just the first couple of laps. Again, each heat race that ends, it puts more wear and tear on the track. And wherever the track is at the end of that heat, that same track surface gets transferred to the next race. So each race developing, evolving, and right now it's Cardwell that's looking confident for this 3rd heat.
Yeah, interesting. We're seeing everybody up at the top here. That is very interesting because the more you run that top line surface, the less there's going to be there grip-wise later on in the night. So, you know, some of these guys you have to wonder if their car may be better on the bottom and they're just trying to wear out the top for their competition, because once that top's gone, it's gone, and you're either going to be up there struggling or you're going to have to find a new line, and nobody's wanting to find that bottom groove right now.
Well, you saw Chase trying to give it an opportunity, trying to go for the dive bomb move on that last lap, not able to get it done. Heat number 3 goes into the books. It's going to be that Davin Carnwell as well as Ben Carter-Marsh and Chase Barber going to be your 3 drivers moving on from heat number 3, which for Cardwell, he just saw Tanner Tomasi going to be winner of Heat 3 and win the featured race. We'll see if he can do the same thing that we saw Tanner do in our previous race. But Heat number 4, this is our last heat race before we get to main racing. And again, top 3 move on. But this is going to be an interesting one because we find ourselves with 2nd place runner from our last race at Bristol. We see that of Dylan Hauser going to be taking the pole position for this heat.
And if you've got your 2nd place runner-up, and keep in mind, he said in his interview, he had to fight his way through a B main to get to 2nd place in the A main. So that being said, he's obviously fast there. We talked about, obviously, you know, he represents his own speed shop at House of Speed. So he's obviously got the speed. He's up front now. He's going to be putting himself in a much better position going into the A main. Could we see him potentially walk away with a win? Or is it going to be a bridesmaid spot for him again, and somebody's just going to come in there and do just what Tanner Tomasi did to him and just not let him get the win again here tonight?
I mean, Hauser's not going to want that. He just does not want to see that again. Yes, he's running the 2, but he doesn't want that at all. Also want to give note, only going to be 8 drivers in this heat. And already up into the wall, going to be careful. Sieber as well as Hitchens going to be making contact with one another. They're already wrecking further back, bottom 4, all on top of one another. We get our first yellow of heat race racing here in Eldora.
And shout out to Cincinnati Racing. They are on the top bar that just magically appears. We don't know where it comes from, Sam, but you see right there, just a big just parking lot right in the corner. That is what brings out the caution. And, 3 cars involved. I won't put blame on anybody. It comes down to these guys want to win. And, this is their heat race here. If they don't get into the main, they're going to have to go through one of the B mains. And you mentioned it, I've said it, nobody wants to go through a B main. They want to lock themselves in. So everyone is pushing it as hard as they can tonight.
Yeah, they want to get every little bit possible here in these heat races. And, we've seen the advantages. We've also seen some disadvantages of running well in the heat races. Disadvantages, you're running on a much cleaner surface than what it's going to be like when you get to that featured race. But the advantage, you don't have to worry about the heartache of missing out, as we are green once again here for heat race number 4.
Yes, we are the green, and we'll see. This is, he believe, heat race number 4, so this is the 4th and final heat race. And, man, they are just killing each other on track right now. That's going to send one around, and caution will come out. It looks like Camden Johnson going to be involved in this one, and somebody got just right into the door of the 007. Ooh, I'm not sure. Maybe the 007 came down and, well, we finally launched the car, but kind of not the best launch we've seen.
No, and luckily it was into the tires, so it's not going to be too bad of a launch, but certainly not the way that they want to be seeing this race going. For Hauser, though, I mean, he's going to be still in a good position here on this restart, but we're only on lap 2 of 8. This is not the way we thought this heat was going to go, but you talked about it during heat 2 and 3. The wear that's being put on that outer lane, they're losing the grip. They're not able to hold the same line that they once were before, meaning drivers are slipping and sliding, putting a lot of pressure on the drivers on the outside. Contact is soon to happen, which is kind of making us a little concerned about how this featured race might be going.
Yeah, it definitely is. You know, you start seeing these cautions, and you know, you have to wonder: is it just the drivers getting aggressive, or is it the track wearing out? Those are the two options you have. We're hoping maybe it's the drivers, because if this track is starting to wear out and fall apart, you know, that's going to make the A feature here tonight, you know, a royal handful for these guys, because we still have 3 B mains to go as well. So that could be a very interesting one for sure. But, you know, right now the only thing Dylan Hauser's worried about is getting the win in this heat race. He wants to get through this and, you know, redeem himself kind of from the first race.
Yeah, and right now it's going to be Dylan Hauser up front. Second place is going to be that of Trent Hitchinson's going to be in second, with also Cody Sieber going to be in third. Those are your top 3, and right now they are gone. Fourth place going to be that of Jacob Fields, who has too much damage, not able to really run with our top 3. And again, top 3, as long as they just play nice with one another, all 3 of them will be moving on to the featured event, and no pressure of worrying about the mains that are coming up immediately after this race is done. Again, as it's going to be seen Hauser crossing the line, 2 laps to go in heat race number 4. But the goal, make it to the featured race, because if you win the featured race, you get a ticket, a berth to go race at that of the Spring Fling 2022.
Yeah, and I want to point out as he crosses the line there, 3 laps in a row as the white flag is out. Dylan Hauser, 1590, 1589, 1575. He bested his fast lap in this race 3 laps in a row, and the only driver so far that hit a 15-second lap.
I mean, he certainly was throwing everything down and said, you know what? I want to prove that I am a fast driver to watch out for, and winning heat number 4. Going to be starting 4th in the featured race. Dylan Hauser trying to get redemption after coming away 2nd during the Bristol, and does not want to come up the bridesmaid position no more. But heat racing is done for the whole entire night. We now go into our 3 B mains. Top 5 move on to the featured race. And Charles, we got 17 drivers in this first B main.
Yeah, and I think our wonderful, you know, wizard of dirt, Will Duvall, threw us for a curveball here. Sam, as I'm looking at the thing, this is the C main, which is B main number 1. We do not have a D main in this race, so we're only going to have 2 stacked B mains.
That's right, and the reason why is because before we didn't have a heat race number 4, and that why with the Bristol race and for this things have gotten switched up. Want to make sure that drivers have enough positioning. So top 6 will be moving on from each. So a little bit of a shuffle from what it was like for the Bristol race, but we're only going to have 2 B mains and top 6 move on, not just the top 5 like we did for Bristol. Top 6, meaning that Jason Korn right now in 6th position, he's going to hope for a good run as drivers getting on track.
Yeah, top 6, so 1 more spot going to be getting in, and that is good for that 6th place car. Not so good if you were in the last race, but if you're in this race, that's 1 more spot that you can gain and make it into this race. And, you know, 17 drivers, you know, we're looking at a pretty stout field for a B main number 1.
Looks like that Toby Zirk's not able to make it in. 16 drivers going to be racing here as we are green. And going to be seeing that of Freeberg as well as Reynolds going to be giving us to the green flag. But there's going to be a driver having issues in the early going. Goody's going to be stuck, and we're going to go immediately into that of a yellow flag, as that of Ian Goody was not able to get going. And there was a lot of bumping and shoving going on during pace laps, but overcorrection and contact going to be made. I believe that's actually going to be the 03. No, that's the 77. It's going to be involved with that one, and just showing the amount of power that's in these super late models and how easy it is to get that wheel spin.
Yeah, you got just raw power behind these. You wonder why, if you've watched any NASCAR racing lately, especially last year, and you look at somebody like Kyle Larson, and you wonder why he just dominates everything that he gets behind. It's because this is the kind of racing he does. Not so much late models. He's done a little bit of late models, but now there's a little place out in your kind of neck of the woods, Sam. It's indoor. They build it into a go-kart track. It's Red Bluff Outlaws that are in Red Bluff, California, I guess. I don't know.
Yep.
They,
I know where Red Bluff is.
That's where Kyle Larson used to race go-karts a lot. And they don't care about nothing. Those go-karts beat and bang and flip and roll over and just keep racing. And, they breed a lot of dirt racers out of that area. And that's the type of racing that Kyle Larson did. That's why he's as good as he is, because of dirt racing. So, I know there was a comment made from a particular NASCAR driver that going to dirt takes us backwards. I don't believe that. I think, maybe we should do a few more dirt track races. I think it really brings out the true racers as we take the green flag again.
Green flag's out, and you're going to already see a little bit of beating and banging going on as you're going to be seeing those drivers on the inside lane 55 going to be on the cruise control, and now going to be also seeing a couple of other drivers trying to find some speed. Again, this is our ticker. It says C main. Technically, this is the B main. Top 6 move on to the featured event. That's all you're looking for, but you don't want to be just throwing these cars up into the wall, and that's what the 55 was doing. Got to be careful. Don't scrub off too much time because there's a lot of hungry drivers behind.
Yeah, and you got another Tanner in this race. Tanner Fold, who's now in 6th place. He's on the bubble spot. He's got to be careful. He does not want to go one spot back. If he does, he'll be going home here tonight. And unlike the heat races, you have another chance after those. That's it. If you are not in the top 6, you're packing it up, putting on the trailer, and say, well, I can try again next time. But as of right now, for this particular event and winning a ticket, there is no next time. So everybody is definitely wanting to get into those top 6 spots right now.
Hard contact going to be made. Going to be 4 wide down into turn number 1, and it's going to be seen coming on the outside. Going to be a great run for themselves. But we keep the camera on. You see the checker flag top. That's going to be Tanner Folds. And Folds, as well as Scott Smith, they're going to be 7th and 8th currently. Their goal, get by the 3. That of Jonathan Brunham, who's going to be doing a great job currently. Going to be on the outside, but right in that wall. Got to be careful not to wall right too often. Otherwise, that thing's going to get junked up as the laps continue to tick away.
Yeah, laps continue to tick away, and it's a little static. You can see just how close they're getting to that wall, trying to gain every spot they can. And yeah, these guys, they're good at what they do, Sam, riding right up there on the edge of basically wrecking is what it comes down to. Controlled Chaos is, by the way, 15.96 for Brandon Freeberg. He just ran on that lap. But these guys doing an amazing job. It's just unfortunate some of them are not going to be here. As right now, it's Jonathan Graham that is your 6th and final transfer position.
Byram going to be one of the drivers that's really doing a great run for the 3, but he's got to be careful because Tanner Folds dumping it down low, the 15, making a clean slide job move, and not enough of a run there for the 3. Now it's going to be Tanner Folds trying to steal his way in. 2 laps to go, coming to the white flag here. Freeberg feeling confident, get top 6. This is the battle for 6th place that we're watching, and the 15 is in that 6th position.
And this is, again, the spot that we know who's winning this thing, but that doesn't quite matter. It matters if you transfer. Right now, Tanner Folds is hanging on to it, but this could get interesting. But I think he's going to hang on to it pretty cleanly, and he will. He takes the checker flag, so it's going to be Freeberg, Reynolds, Cottle, Rosario Jr., Cross, and Folds at your top 6, making it everybody else going home.
That's going to be one of our 2B mains. Going to be done. Top 6 move on as we're going into our last opportunity to race for a chance to get a ticket to race or have an opportunity to race at the Spring Fling 2022. Same scenario, 12 laps, only the top 6 move on this go around. Might see that of 16, potentially that of 15 drivers racing in this field. But Charles, a lot of racing here tonight. We got done with Bristol. We're basically halfway done through, the majority done for qualifying up for our featured event here for Eldora. I mean, it's been a good one, but you can tell in that shot, it's getting shiny out there. A little bit tougher for these drivers. Some, this is their comfort zone, but it's go time for 12 more laps.
Yeah, it is just 12 laps and 12 cars, too. It looks like Clayton is not going to show up. Chris Hill not going to be here. Colton Herbert not going to show up. And Nate Divone is, Divone is not going to be here. So, unfortunate for them, but green flag is out. For the ones that are here, just one lap, and we are racing as right now it's Floyd Fields and Perez the third that are your top.
And we're going to be seeing how Floyd can be holding on, as it's going to be, like you said, Floyd, Fields, boom, as well as Mario Perez. Kitchen going to be 5th, and then Maverick Davidson going to be that 6th place position. But up front 4, they're looking good. They're pulling away, but that 6th place position, that's where the hornet's nest is of drivers trying to march their way in.
Yeah, they are just right there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, just call 8. They're just the whole back of the field is basically right here, trying to do something, trying to get to the position they want to of 6th place. But again, it's been a hornet's nest towards the back of the field, and both B mains making it very tough for anybody to really advance a position. And that position that they're trying to get right now, well, that's from, it looks like Brandon Kitchen. It just changes this. It changes again. So that shows you just how close they are as they're 3 wide.
It's going to be seeing that of AJ in the 08, who's going to be going down low, taking that 6th place position in the white. That's where the goal is. Figure out how to get by the 08, who didn't have the best run. He's done a great job moving up. Biggest mover, though, is going to be that of Camden Johnson, who's up that of 6 positions. And a big wreck up front. Our front runners all collided. And in one instant, we go from our front 4, front 5 looking clean. Only one, Jacob Fields, survives.
Wow, what a battle. We're about to see what happened here. And there, hits the wall all by himself and then just takes out everybody around him.
And that is the worst possible place to get contact. Everyone that was up front, they were in a comfort zone. They weren't part of the danger, but just one little mistake from our leader cost everyone.
Yeah, right there, the wall tap, 2, 3 go around, and 007 tries, he actually makes it through, like you said, and somebody went a little airborne there as they got right underneath the tailpipe of another car, and like you said, Jacob Fields, the Lone Ranger out here surviving that one.
Oh, man. I mean, you got to be feeling bad for the 71 that was involved with that. That's going to be Mario Perez. That was flying. He was cruise control. And then one simple overcorrection threw away his opportunity to be up front. Now going to have to climb their way through this field. Our front 4. Frustration's going to be mounting, but for Jacob Fields, a driver that made it to our featured event here at Bristol earlier, he didn't get the win, but he wants another opportunity. Top 6, move on to the featured race. If you're not in the top 6, you don't get to race for a chance for one ticket. The winner, they get to go for the Spring Fling, but Fields is taken off, but yellow flag immediately thrown.
Yeah, this time going to be for Brandon Kitchen. Take a look and see what happened. Well,
you were wondering if someone was going to get in themselves in trouble. Well, you're going to see it here. Driver gets a little bit turtled up as Kitchen gets a bump, gets sent up, tossed around, and oh, hey, look, I'll stay on my roof.
He like you said, he's going to go turtle side. Unfortunate for him, but looks like his day is probably done. It is. He's off the track. He's in the pit. He is not probably going to be coming back to this race. Unfortunate for him, but again, this is the second B main. We're on lap 8 of 12, probably actually there it is 7 of 12 that we're on. So These guys, they're getting a little rough and tumble out here. Definitely a little rougher than we saw at Eldora, which to me kind of surprised me, Sam. I figured Eldora or Bristol would be the little bit more cautious fest than here at Eldora.
I mean, it's also, like we've noted on, the evolution of the track, and I think it's the recognizing and understanding that this is your last chance to go race for a free ticket. Otherwise, you're going to have to pay for a chance to race in the spring fling, and I think that's another thing for these drivers. Even if you're not performing well, and yes, you don't even get a win, I got to say, this is great practice just to know the competition that you potentially could be racing around and what you need to work on heading into the spring fling.
Yeah, it definitely is. Obviously there's ones that aren't here that are racing, but like you said, some of these guys will pay their way in. And, especially the ones that you see, you're naming them off as heavy hitters, they're going to be in there as the green flag comes back out once again. And it is good to see what you've got going. If you beat these guys in here, even if you don't win, if you beat them,
oh boy,
then it's a good shot as the, like you say, yellow flag coming back out again. And unfortunately,
I believe this is going to be an admin thrown yellow. Over the radio, hearing the admins talking about it and race control, it sounded like they did not like the way that restart went. Some of the drivers were trying to time the restart and not taking off when the leader takes off. And so we're going to reset it, try again on this restart. We do have a time to get these little niches out as we are past halfway. Still have ourselves that of about 5 minutes to work with for that of time-wise. So we still got plenty of time. So just trying to get drivers single file up and do this next restart.
Yeah, we have, like you said, plenty of time. As, BJ, Will Duvall, World of Thunder crew doing an amazing job here running this for us. They wouldn't be the best in the business, and, that's why we hire them. If they didn't do this such a good job, and that is why we hire them to do the job. And we're about to see this one take the green one more time. Fields out front as green flag is out to start lap number 9.
Lap 9, and Jacob Fields, great launch for himself. Also, you've got the biggest mover of the night, going to be Johnson in second place, but you can tell it's a little bit of mounting frustration of the drivers back here. 71, that's going to be Mario Perez. Mattingly going to be that driver in 6th place for the 25. The driver in white, that's who we're talking about. Actually going to be the 3 on our track, but on our ticker, the 25. A little bit more contact further back behind him, but it's all about the top 6. And Bobby Mattingly, he's got to be careful. Here comes Perez down the inside, trying to take that 6th place position.
Yeah, Perez finally takes it. The question is, can he hang on to it again? Top 6 is what moves on, and everybody else will be done here for tonight. They had their shot, and it didn't pan out for them. They'll have to try again or pay their way in later on in the races. There still is a battle for the lead going on, but this is the battle we're watching because this is the battle really that matters as far as getting into the race. And the checkered flag is out, and it is going to be Mario Perez III that ends up hanging on to that 6th spot.
And also, late pass on the last corner, going to be that Cannon Johnson, who started in last, carved his way forward, and gets the win for our final B main of the evening. Well, 10 minutes, going to be warm-up for these drivers until we get to our featured event, where the goal, win. If you win, you get your ticket to race for the Spring Fling 2022. We had 2 tickets coming in tonight. One's already been given to that Tanner Tomasi, who won the Bristol race earlier. And now we'll get our warm-up in and then 75 laps to see who will get that final ticket.
And as before, well, hopefully we'll hear from Will Duvall here in just a moment. They probably will be advancing it, but before they do, we will get a quick little break here, get rehydrated, take a word from sponsors. We'll be right back.
If recent storms have caused damage to your property, contact 811 before you begin your cleanup. Buried utilities around uprooted trees can make a bad situation worse if those lines are not located before digging. Electric, natural gas, and internet lines are everywhere, and knowing where they are is the safest way to start any digging project. Call North Carolina 811 by dialing 811 or by using single address ticket on nc811.org or the NC811 app.
Hey, it's broadcast personality Wesley Outland, and for the second year in a row, the Community Radio Network is excited to also be the voice of iRacing on LSRTV every Monday and Thursday night with the Northwest Racing Series for Cup and Truck. Join yours truly, Justin Prince and Samuel Dyer, every week as they race towards a championship. We're also on the radio in the Triangle, in the Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area at 87.5 WCRN, and anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. Click play. Check out the coverage, the power of radio to the imagination of the listener, esports style. We are the Community Radio Network, the voice of iRacing on LSR TV. Check it out when you can, and replays are always up too. Hey, it's broadcast personality Wesley Outlet up topside at one of the great racetracks of the world, the Caraway Speedway. And I'd like to remind you to join us every Wednesday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern to 3 p.m. Eastern with coverage of Finish Line, where we talk to everybody from NASCAR to grassroots, like right here at Caraway Speedway. Carolina's Fox Sports Radio affiliates, iHeartRadio, and on the Community Radio Network at 87.5 FM. And remember, thanks to Live Sim Racing Productions, you can actually see the guest panel. Ask their questions. Get interactive with us with comments and so much more in our chat box. Finish Line every Wednesday. Join us every week.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, the warm-up is done. Race control came down here, yelled in our ear. We're rolling. So that being said, we're going to roll it for the final race of tonight. And we've been saying it all night long. It's winner take all. Somebody's walking away with their entry paid into the 2022 Spring Fling.
Spring Fling, I mean, all these drivers, that was the goal, was hope that you don't have to pay for your entry in. And, I mean, what an opportunity this is. I'm happy that we were able to do this, give these drivers a chance, 2 races, 2 tickets. And, I mean, Charles, the value that these drivers, they don't have to pay to even have a chance to go, and they just had to show up here tonight and perform.
Yeah, you show up here, you perform, and for anyone that doesn't know the Spring Fling, the purse is $6,000 to win this year. The biggest winning purse they've had in years, and a lot on the line, and you have to pay an $80 ticket to get into that race. We're just giving that away. LSRTV is like, here, you get a ticket, you'll get the tickets. Nah, just kidding. It's like, you win, you get a ticket. So these guys are out here doing everything they can. Everybody wants in that race. You know, you got to be in it to win it, and this is a really good shot to be in it and not be out anything.
All right, well, this is going to be a quick one for these drivers. Going to be our winner from Heat 1, that of Josh Fuller, as well as winner from Heat 2, going to be that of Lennon Whitford. And then we find our winner from Heat number 3, that of Davin Carnwell, and then Dylan Hauser going to be our winner from that of Heat number 4. Charles, I mean, this is, for the drivers that were able to perform during the Heat races, this is a completely different track than what they were dealing with. I think that's the thing that's going to be so much fun to see how the drivers react, is for that of Josh Fuller, he only got warm-ups, really, was the only time he got to test this track, because back when he was running, this track was clean, it had plenty of grip, no more. As the pace truck lights are off, we're going green this time by.
Yeah, he did not get a lot of time on this, used up track, and when we say used up, it is used up. As we'll see if we can get a good shot of his green flag is about to come out. Well, I say it is. I believe our race control is going to go 4 wide here for us tonight as Will does this. And again, he did not tell us we were going to go do a 4 wide salute, and you can see him right there, 4 abreast. This is what they do in World of Thunder. This is, one reason they are the best. And you can see it right there. Going to be an awesome sight coming around 4 wide.
It's going to be incredible to see these drivers just doing the 4 wide salute, giving you a little bit of a showing of all the drivers. This is it. Your final opportunity. One more ticket to be grabbed. And right now they're going to be 4 wide, 4 abreast, and ready to bring out the best here tonight at Eldora, as the drivers are ready to give the action here on LSR TV. Looking to be 24 drivers were initially supposed to be here. I think Matthew Shelley was not able to make it into the grid, so 23 drivers will be running here tonight, ready to rip it around. As you can see, having some fun. Is that a Whitfill who's going to be getting that car just a little bit ramped up past the pace truck? And now we reset and get them stacked up once again, Charles, and then we go racing.
Yeah, we will go racing, and those laps will reset here momentarily, but, an awesome sight to see these guys doing the 4 wide salute. And make sure you check the LSR TV Facebook, because there may be a photo or two coming out of that 4 wide salute in our fantastic 4K. We love being the sole broadcast company doing 4K right now. And we have a lot of new things coming in the works, so we had to buy some equipment. First caution, we'll talk a little bit about that, as the green flag officially comes out for lap number 1, and we're already 3 wide for second place.
3 wide, and it's all about getting up front. It's going to be that of Josh Fuller, and as well going to be that of seeing that of the 21. Whitfield going to be doing his best, but that of Dylan House. Dylan wants to get the win. He came up second fiddle bridesmaid at Bristol. He doesn't want to see that once more, but he's got tougher competition here tonight.
Yeah, he has got a lot of competition going on in this race, and like you said, he does not want to play second string in this fiddle court band again. So he is going to try his hardest as we go up a little bit. There's a huge battle for the lead. They're still side by side. That is Wilfit and Fuller side by side, and all the way 16:46. For Linden, as he just ran that lap, and he's going to pull away just a wee little bit, but not much, as this field is stacked side by side. Even further back, they're battling side by side in 3 wide still.
And first yellow of the featured race is going to fly further back. Going to be seeing some of the newcomers that missed out on Bristol. Well, this is their one opportunity, and involved in this wreck here. And a big thing for these drivers, we didn't talk about it during most of this time, but for this featured event, 8 incident points is your max. If you get any more contact with other drivers or the wall, you get incident points. And if you go over 8, You are done. You're parked. You're no longer racing here tonight.
And showing you how slick this track is right now is the 44. That was John Rosario Jr. He got spun into the wall, and once he started spinning, you ever spun a quarter and then you spin it, and then it starts, you think it's slowing down, and then you just barely tell me it'll spin even faster? That's what it's like when you get spinning on this slick. You just cannot control it. You just start spinning around like a little top out on the track.
I mean, you're doing your best to counter steer, hoping that it's going to straighten out and you'll slow down, and sometimes you're just hopeless and you have to just let off the steering wheel and hope that you're just locking down the brakes and you're not going to run into the wall anymore. And we'll see how these drivers can react as we're stacking it up, getting ready to go green once more. Love the fact that our race control is get everyone set, get them replaced, get put in the right spot, and let's get back to racing action as the pace truck is waiting to go green once again. And Charles, I'm loving this action from Bristol earlier, but 75 laps here at Eldora, it's going to be a lot harder as it is already. The dark slick is everywhere on this course.
Yeah, you might as well learn to drive in it because it's everywhere at this point. The only place I'm seeing it's not is, right down in there in the backstretch. But let's be honest, you're not going to be driving down there. If you are, you're not going to be up here. So, you're not going to be up front if you're driving down there for any reason. So we'll see how it all goes. Green flag is back out, and here comes Dylan Hauser. He is on the hunt to try to get that ticket.
Hauser's going to try the middle lane, but it's going to be that outer groove, the 21. Going to be Landon Whitfield, going to be that driver that is on the move. And Whitfield had a great run, really through the heats and also through the mains for the 21 machine back at Bristol, but was caught up in mistakes and other people's shenanigans. So the 21 wasn't really able to race at Bristol on our first race of our double headers. But watch out on the outside, third place runner right now in the green at 13. It's going to be that St. Clair who's on the move.
And St. Clair is on the move on the high side. And we talked to race control earlier on, and they were having them go out there during warm-up and run this. They were trying to get it more of a multi-groove track, as it seems to be high side dominant here tonight. But there are some people starting to venture down. You've got, I believe, yes, 12 on the car, 29 on the scoring, Josh Fuller. He's starting to venture down just a little bit as well, and Hauser just ran the fastest lap of the race. We'll see where he's running, as he's running, up on the high side. Everybody out here ripping the lip, riding the cushion. So eventually, if it wears out, they're going to have to go down this track. So that, I think, will be when we see who really has the dominant car.
And also a big thing as we're watching, if Fuller, he's now dropped back to fourth. He was our pole driver. Kind of very similar storyline to what we saw for that back at our Bristol race. We saw our pole sitter fade back just once that groove got kicked in. Wasn't running as well. As we take a look here, what brought out our yellow on this replay, and it's the 55 up in that outside wall, but gets clobbered by that. It folds in others, and it's just, you get tapped once, there's nowhere else you can go.
Yeah, it looked like he got over the cushion a little bit, got into the wall, and from that on, everybody else is kind of clobbered into him along the way. And, that is one thing you do not want to do. You get just over that. You can see that little dark shadow on the backside there. If you get over that cushion and into the wall, I can personally, I've seen it happen, even as little as go-karts. It doesn't matter what it is. If you get over that cushion and you get into that little groove that's down there, it will suck you into the wall, super fast. And you can see it right there. You can see that, shadowy area. And that is not a place you want to be getting over that cushion.
Not at all, as trying to get the drivers plenty of time to get them situated in the right positioning. So that's why this is going to be a little bit of an extended little pacing. But again, green flag laps are the only laps that count. So it's okay that we take a little bit extra time to get these pace laps down. We want to make sure everyone's in the right positioning for themselves. I do want to give a note that Mario Perez did come into pit road, got a little bit of service for the 71 repairs, and is back out on track, as that of Jeffrey Baum going to be looking to be done for the race potentially here, as he'll still be in pit road for the 02. 24 drivers made it to the race, as Shelley was able to make it onto the racing surface for the 46. Thought he might have missed out, but it's time to go racing once more. Pace truck lights are out. We're going, Charles. Let's stand by.
Yeah, green flag will grace its presence to us one more time. We'll see how long it stays out for, as we are currently on lap number 10 as it just clicks over, and working lap number 11. And here comes Hauser. He is not holding back. He has the lead at the moment, but he's got to hang on to it, and I think he will. Hauser refusing to be a bridesmaid once again.
And he's going to be up front. The goal just pull away, but yellow flag's going to wave back further, and there was a lot of contact when we got green. We were focusing on Hauser in the pass for the lead. There were a lot of drivers just riding on top of one another. St. Clair was being absolutely pushed around as we take a look at what officially brought out this yellow, but there was a lot of bullying going on. Drivers pushing and shoving off one another, and I mean, when you're 3-4 wide like this, there's nowhere really else you can go but to run into other drivers if just one little mistake happens.
Yeah, just that tiny little mistake it happened, and you saw the caution, you saw the wreck that happened, but unfortunately, the ones involved in the caution were not the only ones that were hurt by that caution, and that is, we go back to the last lap completed. Hauser is back in second now after taking the lead, but the lap was not completed, and he goes back to the previous lap, and now he's back in second.
Yeah, he's got to do all that work once more. As do want to give note of other drivers, as Quillen looks to be for the Ford machine done for the night. As also you can see our ticker, that of Seaberg going to be in pit road getting service done. That of the 02 of BAM going to be still in pit road getting that of damage repair. And now with the amount of big wrecks that we've seen and a lot of hard contact, now the question of incident points will be a factor moving from here on out, especially for the drivers that are that of 15th or even 13th on back.
Yeah, they've definitely got some worries back there. These guys, you got to get to the front. You got to get there quick. Granted, we have still a bunch of laps to go. We're only on lap number 11 of 75, but still, it will go by quick if we can get some green flag racing. The front four kind of spread out here at the moment. As you go back a little ways, back in here, you can really start to see this battling as they're 3 wide going on for about 6th, 7th, and 8th position. That's where the battling's at. So we are still keeping an eye on the battle for the lead, as Hauser is potentially got to run for the lead, but that restart really set him back.
Yeah, Hauser was not able to really keep it too close. Still going to be about 2/10 close. Is the distance between first and second. But right now, keeping our eyes out on drivers further back. There's the 12, going to be that of Counter Marsh, as well as going to be seeing a little bit of peekaboo action. I believe is going to be Cardwell in the 70, who's got to be careful of having too much internet issues. It's going to be dive bomb to the inside. Going to be that of Cannon Johnston, and Johnston in that of the 22. I got to say, an incredible run in that last B main. Went from practically last up to win that B main. 22 could be a dark horse to watch out for if you can find a little bit more speed and the longer this run goes on. And
he just run his personal best with a 1640 as well, so he definitely could be someone to be looking out for here tonight. And we saw in the last race, the cautions really were the downfall for Dylan Hauser. It looks like they may be the downfall for him again. You see, every time we got the caution, he had to struggle to catch up again, and that is being what's happening here tonight. We'll see if he's able to potentially get up there, but right now, not so much. He's fading back. He was, like you said, about 2/10. Now he's about 6/10 back from the race lead, so he is drastically falling here in these closing laps.
And as the more the run goes on, the more that we're going to see that outer lane. It could be transferring to drivers trying to search somewhere else on track to find a little bit of extra speed as we fall back to the battling for that of 8th and 9th place. Going to be seeing that of the 12 of Ben Countmarsh, as well as going to be seeing that of Hulbert, and also the 92 of that going to be Trent Hitchens. Going to be all around one another. We bounce right back up to the battling for that of 4th place as our pole sitter, Josh Fuller. He's got Johnson, who is caught up to this lead pack, and you look at the last about 4 or 5 laps, it's been the 22 of Johnson who's been the fastest car on track.
And you mentioned Johnson maybe being a dark horse. 15.23. He just ran the fastest lap of this race, going on that last lap. So, yes, he very well could be a dark horse running laps like that. But laps don't do any good if you don't get to the front. So he needs to get clear of these guys, get to the front, and make something happen. And, speaking of making something happen, Hauser may here second. He's cut that 6/10 lead down to about 4/10. So he's working towards getting to the front as well.
And it's going to be a lot of work that you got to be putting down right now. As we're watching the screen, Fuller's going to be diving it down low, trying to figure out how to get by that of St. Clair, and that's going to give an opening for Johnston to climb up down to fourth. Biggest mover is Johnston, but also got to be aware, lap traffic is now going to be a factor. We didn't see a lot of this during Bristol, but now is an opportunity for lap traffic that could be helping or hindering our leaders.
And I want to quickly, I misspoke a second ago. I do apologize. Hauser is not catching your leader. I was looking at the wrong one. That is the difference between Sinclair and Hauser. Sinclair's actually ran down Hauser, not Hauser running down Wheathill. So I do apologize for that. We have a lot of stats and information in front of us, and I glanced at the wrong one. But Hauser actually falling back and now under fire from Sinclair and probably Johnson here very soon.
Yeah, but the big thing for Hauser, Sinclair, and as well Johnston is they're catching up to lap traffic that is starting to hurt that of Whitfield. And Whitfield went from having almost over a 2-second lap lead. He had to dive down low to get by lap traffic, who was not getting out of the preferred lane. And the 21 has lost time and ground, and Hauser starting to close in the gap just slightly here as we're getting closer and closer to halfway.
Yeah, halfway, be here before you know it. And like you said, lap cars playing a factor. And the thing is, once these lap cars start becoming a factor, they're not going to go away anytime soon, because you're going to continually keep catching them over and over again. It may not be the same cars, but it's going to be, somebody on the track that you're continually catching over and over. So these guys have got to find a way to get around these lap cars very, very quickly. Otherwise, you could see that lead slip away even further. As like you said, it was 1.4. Now it's 0.6, 0.5, 0.4. It is drastically going down.
It's absolutely gone. The 0.8 there of AJ did not get out of the preferred lane. It actually hurt that Whitfield, and now Hauser is going to be able to move up and be right on the back bumper. What was once almost 2 seconds a gap lead, that of just about 10 laps ago, it's down to 2/10, less than 2/10, as lap traffic goes down low, trying to get out of the way. As our leaders battle on top of one another, they got to be careful that lap traffic doesn't actually make a mistake and take out the leaders.
And we've seen it earlier tonight when some lap cars getting in the way. We've seen it on multiple broadcasts where lap cars get in the way and take out the leaders. So, if you're these guys, you have to be leery of the lap cars. Lap cars need to be leery of you. And Hauser, he's just going to lick that stamp and send it all the way to the bottom, all the way to the top. Obviously, it worked there for the slide job, but the crossover came right back.
It really did, and if anything, this is going to help St. Clair as they continue to battle back and forth, diving it down low. Hauser, and as well going to be seeing that of Whitfield. He's not going to be able to hug that outer wall where he's been finding the maximum amount of speed. They continue to dive down low, swapping back and forth for the lead. Whitfield for now, Hauser in second, but St. Clair, Johnson, they're coming with us a little, about let's say 5 to about 6 laps. They're going to be on the tailpipes of our leaders.
Yeah, we watch this battle, and we don't even have to venture from it, like you said, because here shortly, the more they battle, the more it's going to be coming. Right there, you see him already making it happen.
And because Whitfield had to get off of his rhythm of running that outer lane, it put him in spots where he did not feel comfortable. Hauser's going to get into the wall, and just like that, it's St. Clair taking the lead. Johnston now going to be on the back bumper, and into the wall goes Johnston. Our front 4, front 5, they're all within a half a second of one another.
Yeah, the biggest killer of your win, yourself. You cannot make those mental mistakes as Hauser.
Whoa! Pole sitter, Fuller spun around.
He had a little help there, and the caution will come out as we go take a look at the pulse poppers instant replay. And you got a little tap there. You'll see right there. 22 gets him and sends him right into, well, he didn't hit the inside walls. That's close, but he got very, very close to it. Well, my question here, Sam, for you is, okay, we've seen the craziness. What is this caution going to do? These guys are going to be stacked up. But let's be honest, they were already stacked up before the caution anyway.
Yeah, they were. If anything, this could help give them a little bit of a breather. If everyone can get a clean launch, give each other a little bit of space before closing in, we might get about 5 to 10 laps before they're back on top of one another. If I look at the drivers, this is going to be helping Whitfield and Hauser just a little bit here. They were getting unsettled, putting themselves in positions that they were not really driving before. I was interested to see, I was looking at race control, looking to see if they were going to penalize anyone for that incident. It looks like we're going to be extending the caution by a couple of laps to make this decision on if they might decide to penalize Johnston or not. That could be a call here because he came down, made the contact with the 12 of that of Fuller. There could be an opportunity to be hurting the driver that's been our biggest mover of the day and almost took the lead at one moment, that of the 22 of Johnston.
Yeah, they were right there, Johnson. You know, with that little battle we saw, granted, it may take a couple of laps to rebuild it again. That's got to give a lot of confidence to people like, Hauser, who we knew he was fast. Sinclair, all these guys that were battling. You know, it gives them a lot of confidence knowing, hey, I can be up front and I have a chance to win this thing. So they are definitely going to push it even harder now to try and get the win. So, we could see maybe a little bit more beating and banging here because these guys, if you know you've got a car to win, really don't want anybody taking it from you. So you're going to fight a little harder.
And Johnston will be actually just putting himself in the end of the line. Comes into pit road to get some service and damage repair. The 22 going to go back to the end of the longest line for himself. Up front, it's going to be that Whitfield as well as Sinclair. Going to be your front row with Hauser as well. Going to be seen on that of Barber in the 23. This gives a new opportunity, new breath of fresh air for some as we get ready to go green. But Hauser ducking it down low a little early. We'll see if the race control deems that as if we need to restart. This restart looks like we're not. We're going to stay green. Hauser contact for second place.
Yeah, like I said, they're already ramped up now. They're going to start beating and banging as we're on working lap 38 right now. Working lap 39, and Hauser going upside down almost. And that right there is not going to set well with Hauser's. We got to take a look and see what happened here. And it's showing Chase potentially for the actual yellow, which means we might eventually see Hauser get his spot back if he was not deemed at fault for the caution. And right there, he did get turned, but they're showing it was actually Chase Barber.
This is the aggressive spin. I think that's why they're going to deem it for Chase. But
yeah.
But because of the being involved with contact, I think that we could be seeing still Hauser being deemed to go to the end of the line because of the contact and being involved with the incident. So there's potential there. But this is that one. I mean, we talked about the nose. It's basically a ramp that can launch these drivers around. And also with the hitbox with these vehicles, if you hit the right spot with the front bumper to the driver ahead, you can easily spin them around. And that's what's going to be happening there. Bringing out Hauser, being spun around, bringing out this yellow for these drivers. And also, race admin's going to be giving an EOL to that of Chase Barber, who's going to be starting at the end of the line. But the field is shrinking here, Charles, and I think everyone's recognizing that if you get damage, you're most likely going to be done for this evening. And for Hauser, he could be done as well. Not looking good for that of the 6 to be getting back out on track.
Yeah, it looks like he is stuck on pit road, not moving. Looks like he said Hauser's Knight Dunn had a good shot here to get the win in race number 1 and race number 2. And at the end of the day, it just didn't pan out for him. Unfortunately, he had a really, really fast hot run.
And now we are going to get back to green, and it's going to be seeing the 21 in second place. The only driver that really has qualified up in the top 5. Going to be up in the top 5, except for that of Help. Going to be back in that of 5th, but quick yellow is going to be thrown. Let's reset him and try it again.
Yeah, it looks like on my end, I can't see. I know you can see a little bit more information. Looks like an admin throwing caution as I don't see anybody wrecking. So
Yeah, I believe that was an admin thrown yellow. Whenever there is an admin thrown yellow, it usually is, when we were talking to Will Duvall during our transition, is the fact that usually it's when drivers are jumping the gun too soon. They're taking off before the leader does, and the admins want to give a fair opportunity for the leader to take off and everyone else following suit. So this is going to be giving us another chance at this restart, but drivers are... I think they got to really focus. I think everyone's kind of understanding this situation now. They went from, oh, if I fail at Bristol, at least I've got Eldora. There is no other restarts. This is your last opportunity for those that actually have a raceable car to go out, go for a win. And if you win here, you go for a free opportunity to race later on in May. But we are green, and it's going to be that of Sinclair. Whitfield going to be taking us, and it's Sinclair with a great launch for that of the 013.
Yeah, no single file restart here. Race control said, look, boys, y'all can't get this going. We're going to go single file for you and make it happen. So that is the call there. And we're looking now. Hauser is out. Only 14 cars currently on track as the battle is brewing for second place right now. Somebody's got to get up there and give Sinclair a run for his money. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Whitfield, Freeberg, Holberg. These guys, all of them, have a shot to potentially get him. As the racing, it's all moving to the top side right now.
Well, you think back to the mains, it was our first B main, that of Freeberg, who came away with a very strong run for the 171, but you look at the ways that these drivers are running, I would say that Freeberg right now just does not look settled. It is a constant shimmying on the exit of turn 4 where a lot of this time is being lost. For the 171, he's got to find a better launch out of the corner if he wants an opportunity to go after that of Sinclair. This lap goes around, and it's going to be the 171, just slightly faster, but with the amount of laps that are left, I don't think the pace that we're seeing from Freeberg will be enough. He's got to find a little bit extra speed if he wants to have an opportunity for that of the 113.
Yeah, he's definitely just got to get a little bit more out of it. We're going to get back a little bit. Look at this hornet's nest. These guys may not be in it to get the win, but man alive, you got Jacob Fields back here, Chase Barba, Matthew Shelby, Caden Johnson. All these guys are just beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah, I mean, right there you saw there were Fields as well as Barba going to be the drivers making contact, and then in the middle of the thick of it all is going to also find Johnston. And all these drivers, they're losing time and ground to our leaders. They're battling this hard, 5 seconds back from our leaders. They got to find a little bit extra momentum. Also, got to play nice if they want to start moving forward.
Yeah, they've got to play very nice. And, you speak of those leaders, we might have a little battle brewing for second once again. So between the 171 and I believe that is the 21. Yes, it is. Battling there. Your leader, he's checked out a little bit, but second place still the battle to go. Somebody's got to have something for Sinclair. I think possibly the ones that did may unfortunately be out of this race.
And the dive bomb move going to be made by the 21, but just wasn't able to carry that momentum. Landon could be saying that Landon could be falling back to third, but Whitfield's doing, I mean, at that point, you've got to make these types of dive bomb moves. You're seeing those laps tick away, and you're seeing your opportunity. I mean, Travis Sinclair is pulling away, and I think for 21 of Whitfield, he's noticing, all right, well, if I continue to stay behind, I'm not going to gain any ground, and just like that, it's going to be Freeberg into the wall, and Whitfield's going to take the pass easily for second.
Yeah, he's going to take it very easily, and real quickly want to let everyone know, I do see a little bit of internet issue on our end, so hopefully it's not too terribly bad for everybody. But we have been streaming for quite some time, nearly 3 hours, I think. Over 3 hours we've been on the air. We've been on the air.
We've been going for a bit.
But it looks like it might have stabled itself out. But, hey, gotta love Spectrum. When they're good, they're good. When they're bad, well, they're bad. So sometimes they like to say, nah, I don't want to work today. I'm off. But, who is working? That's Sinclair. He's working this track over very well. And the battles are starting to get further and few between right now. As a Sinclair out front, here's a decent little battle going on here. You got another little decent battle going on back here towards the top 10 with Fuller And I believe that's going to be Ben counter mash going on as well. So 2 little battles going on throughout this track, but they're really, really starting to get spread out now.
Yeah, they're really starting to find that spacing, and it allows us to race hard green flag laps, as Shelly's going to be finding the 46 under pressure from the 12, and you see these little pockets of 3 to 4 cars, and you're like, okay, there is that opportunity. If we're going to see a yellow, most likely it's going to be around this realm of drivers, but at the same time, you're also thinking, these drivers, we're down to just 12 that are on track, and about 11 of them that are going to be on the lead lap, and they've been running clean. Yes, this has been aggressive here of late, and I think for a lot of these drivers, they've kind of thrown away any opportunity of trying to race for a win, but they still are putting on a great show for us up here in the booth on LSRTV.
Yeah, they are definitely putting on a terrific show, and Travis Sinclair, driver I didn't know coming into tonight's race. Obviously, race control knew who he was coming from the World of Thunder camp, but we didn't know him, but he is put a clinic on right now. Do I say he is the doctor and he's just running away with this clinic? No, I don't, because I think had Hauser been here, I think may have been a different story. Johnson, so he may be the doctor here tonight, but he definitely got a break handed to him.
Oh, he's probably hoping you just stop talking, because the whole entire time you're talking about maybe he's got this thing won and done. Just cut that lead in half. Here comes Whitfield, who is coming with the head of steam. The gap over 1.5 seconds. It is now down to a half a second. 21 has found some speed, and I think Sinclair, the big thing for him, he's dunking that 13 a little bit lower on the exit of the corner, trying to get back into the throttle sooner, but it's actually hurting. He's not carrying as much speed, and that's where we're seeing that of the 21 closing in the gap. It's now 3/10 as the laps dwindle away, and we're coming up just 10 laps to go here in just a handful of corners.
Well, I'll make it fair. We'll talk about Whitfield here, how good he's been doing. Maybe we'll even the playing field a little bit, as commentator Scar's potentially coming in here. I'm going to get fired. Just going to fire me. Now he's going to know my curse on him was real. But, yeah, he has definitely caught him. And now we have lap cars coming into the picture as well, as we are coming up here. Yes, we are currently 10 laps to go.
And when they cross the line, officially 10 laps to go. And Whitfield now within the distance that he could dive bomb it at any moment. But the question is, how do you set this up? Whitfield hasn't had too many opportunities of successfully making a pass without another driver having to dump themselves into the outside wall. And if anything, Whitfield's going to give it a go here down into turn 3.
And he does. He slides up and he takes it as he smacks the wall. And I'd say corrected. I didn't see him there. He hadn't quite taken it yet. But he is trying. He did smack that wall, and you can see right there in the corner, it looks like 1 and 2. Whitfield is just way better, as he's going to really throw it in here. And can he get him? No, not at the line.
The big thing, I think, is just stay on the outside. Don't let Whitfield keep that inside. I mean, just get as close to side by side as possible whenever you're doing these dive bomb moves so you can set up the next lap. But right now, Whitfield, he's got to set up. He's seen the laps tick away, and we're coming up to that of just when he crosses the line. We're going to come up to 6 laps to go when they cross the line again. Sinclair's looking good. Whitfield might have thrown this away, but there's lap traffic. Couple of more opportunities here, Charles, as we're coming up to 6 laps to go.
Yes, and I thought this race was going to get a little boring here at the end, but I was wrong. We got a great battle going on for the lead lap cars in the way potentially as well. But to just look how rough that top side is, this may come down to, Sam, who can handle the ruts the best.
5 laps to go, and it's going to be that of Travis Sinclair as well as seeing that of Whitfield. Going to be the 2 drivers on top of one another. Sinclair, who has been hovering on the outside for so long, but it's Whitfield who's found a little bit of extra speed. Going to be Whitfield trying to dunk it low, turn it diamond, and just not enough spacing. 4 laps to go, and it's going to be Sinclair still holding strong for now.
Yeah, Sinclair, if he wins this thing, he earned it, because he has just had to fend off Whitfield just to the nail at the end of this race here. He's right there. He hasn't been able to completely make the pass. Not for a lack of trying, for sure, as he has, like you said, dove it in many many times. And like I said, if even Sinclair wins this, he earned every dollar of that $80 voucher.
It's going to be 2 laps to go. Travis Sinclair, about 2 more opportunities. It's going to be Whitfield. He's going to set it up. Coming to the last lap, right on the tailpipes. It's your white flag. Last opportunity. Dive thumb down into turn number 1. Whitfield slides up, not close enough. And there goes Sinclair, looking good. One more opportunity for Whitfield.
He's going to send it one more time. He can't do it. Sinclair going to take the checkered flag.
Absolutely amazing run by that of Travis Sinclair. Miss Bristol didn't need to show up. Whitfield showed up for both, wasn't able to make it work, but Travis Sinclair was part of the madness. The 5 drivers that were on top of one another back on lap 30, who then wiped each other out. It was the lone runner of that of Travis Sinclair and able to keep himself in a clean spot. And Charles now gets an opportunity to race at the Spring Fling.
Yeah, what a what a battle! Again, for a race I thought was about to get strung out and boring, they made it work. So we'll give these guys a minute to get in here. We'll step away. We'll come back here and talk to well, at least Brandon Freeberg. We got him, our 3rd place finisher, and hopefully we'll get the other 2. It looks like St. Clair's there. We'll step away. We'll be right back here in just a few moments. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Again, what a race for a second race. We have our top 3 with us here. Again, I don't even know where to start, so we're going to start with Freeberg, Andrew Freeberg in the 3rd place here. Not quite into the ticket area, but what a race, Brandon. Just overall, a good race there at the end. Especially for the top 2, but all night long, there was good racing throughout this field. So, Eldora, like it, hate it, what do you think about it?
I really like it. I mean, it's a lot of fun to race. I wish it wasn't so one line, but overall, I enjoy racing here for sure.
I mean, Brandon, it was a great run on your part. You had, you had a win in that of the main, and going through into the featured event, you almost had an opportunity to challenge for the lead. What would you say was your biggest struggle, though, throughout the night?
Well, early on, just trying to run the bottom to keep the car, from getting torn up, because I knew there'd be some wrecks and whatnot, and it'd be around the top. So just running the bottom as long as I could and not let those guys get too far away. And then, obviously move up top once they got pretty dominant there towards the middle of the race. And Lyndon got to me, and he got around me, and I just, tried to push a little more to keep that pace, and kept getting tight and getting in the fence. And from then on, it was just kind of, going to be 3rd. So I'd just say overall getting tight was kind of difficult for me there at the end.
Well, Brandon, like I said, overall a great race here for you. You never know when one of these races may pop up again in the future. to try to get that spot into the big spring fling race. But before we let you go, of course, any sponsors on the side of that car you need to thank?
Yep, for sure. All the guys at Max Troop Sim Sports. Travis here. Congrats to him on the win. Cody, looks like he got wrecked out early, so tough luck for him. Freeburg Racing Components, Berg Sim Racing, Seepers Racing Media, Matt Logan, ML Performance, St. Clair Virtual Racing, and Dyer's Top Rods. Appreciate it. Thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast, and thanks to BJ and Nick for putting on the race. Appreciate it.
Well, definitely a big congrats to you on the third place. In the second place, hopefully we didn't butcher this name too bad. It is the 21 of Whitfield. Did we get that right first off?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're not complete dummies up here in the booth. That being said, you know, we're going to skip all the beginning of the race. That doesn't matter. Those last 10 laps or so going on there. What was that battling like going on between you and our race winner here of Travis Sinclair?
Yeah, you know, I really just felt like I kind of gave one away there. I think we had the speed to get by him, but you know, when it's one laner on the top like that, there's not much you're gonna do to pass him without dirtying him up. So yeah, I was kind of just riding, maybe hoping for a mistake or something. Yeah, I don't know. On the last lap there, I'd been throwing sliders on him in 3 and 4, and he'd been turning right back under him, and you know, like it was nothing. So I had to run off and coming off of a 4 there, take the white flag, and so I sent her in there in 3 and 4, or sorry, 1 and 2, and yeah, just did the same thing, cut right back under me. So I kind of threw a Hail Mary at it there in 3 and 4, and I wasn't going to dirty Travis out of the way for the win though. So.
I mean, Lyndon, what a run for yourself, though. You found yourself winning that of the heat, too, and then coming around, finishing second. How much, you know, I know you wanted to get the win so you can get that free ticket for the Spring Fling, but how much confidence does this give you going into potentially trying out for that?
Yeah, you know, for sure. If the Fling, if they do decide it is Fling here, then yeah, I'll have a ton of confidence going in, knowing I got a good baseline setup. Just tweak on a couple things. I'm still not very good in traffic when I'm out in, you know, the clean air and stuff. I feel like I'm probably a top 10, top 15 car in that race in the Fling there. So yeah, just some minor adjustments and stuff, but Team TCM's got me hooked up.
Well, again, as always, we can give you congrats on the runner-up spots here tonight, and you know, you got some sponsors on the side of the car, the hood, wherever they are, so I give them a shout out.
Yeah, I got to thank Team TCM. This is my inaugural race with them, so I can't thank them enough. Ace Motorsports, 309 Designs, Seaver Racing Media, Martin Sports, you guys for doing the broadcast, and Botel for putting up a cool little deal here to run for a spot in the Fling.
Well, again, congrats on the runner-up spot, and that, of course, brings us to our race winner here tonight. That is Travis Sinclair. Travis, you got the win here tonight. A hard-fought battle. You earned your spot into the Spring Fling here in 2022. Coming up, I believe it's May 9th and 10th, or 9th and 11th, or 8th and 10th, something like that. Whatever the day is, you earned your way into this event. And same question, how were those last 10 laps? And it was a hard-fought battle for you to pull away with the win here tonight.
Yeah, I had a pretty good lead there for a minute. Brandon and Lyndon was racing, so I kind of got a chance to pull away there. And then my spotter was telling me that, you know, he was quicker in 1 and 2, staying up on the wall. I'd been cut down. The bumps were really bad around the top, so when I would get to the bumps, my car would get real tight, so I'd just cut down so I didn't have to worry about stuffing into the wall. So he told me if I stayed up on the wall, I'd probably be a little quicker, so I tried it a couple laps. Twice in a row, I got real tight, about stuffed the wall real bad there, got a little bit of damage, and closed the gap, which he was a little quicker. You know, he was going to catch me anyway, just because I couldn't ride the top there 1 and 2, so he was going to track me down one way or another. Just he got to me a lot sooner than I was really ready for it. But yeah, hats off to him, man. He raced me really clean there. I got a lot of respect for that. You know, knowing when a guy knows he's a little quicker and he still races you straight up, that's real respectful.
I mean, Travis, same question I asked also. How are you feeling after getting the win? You're now going to be racing for the Spring Fling. How are you feeling confidence-wise going into that?
Yeah, man, I'm excited. We were all talking. I would like to see the Fling at Eldora. I mean, it's been good to us here recently. We've ran really well here, so I would like to see it here, regardless where it's at. I'm excited for it and ready to get tested and get prepared for it.
All right, well, get some shout-outs. I know you got some sponsors on the side of that car you've got to thank for this win here tonight. And, again, we're just glad to give you the free spot.
Yeah, I appreciate that, guys. I want to thank all the guys at Max Troop Sim Sports. Tanner got the win and the other server, so good job to him. Brandon had a real good run. Unfortunately, Cody didn't have as good of luck, but he would have been up there anyways if he didn't get wrecked. But thank all those guys, MO Performance, Severs Racing Media, 309 Designs for a great looking car. I appreciate you guys putting this on. This was a really fun race. I had a good time.
Oh, definitely. We were awesome to put it on, and we will get a hold of VLR and make sure all the names are given in for the drivers here, and they'll get with y'all in the in the very close future, probably tomorrow. We'll get a hold of all the drivers that won, yourself and Tanner Tomasi. That being said, Sam, final thoughts on a great night of racing here.
It was incredible. We got to see two amazing races. Even the setup to the races were great. Congratulations to Tanner Tomasi as well for that of Travis Sinclair. They both put on a great showing. I know for Tanner, he kind of dominated at the end of his race, but for Sinclair, what a battle he had. And congratulations on defending and able to get that ticket to go race for later on in May. I just cannot believe it. It was a good night. I kind of hopped in late. Wasn't sure if I was going to be a part of this or not. But, hey, I'm happy you allowed me to be in the booth because this was a fun one.
That it was a fun one indeed. And that'll wrap it up for tonight's racing action. It is going on 10 o'clock my time. So I got to get some dinner and then possibly some sleep and some computer work. I don't know. We got a lot of stuff to do. We got a lot of racing going on tomorrow night as well. So make sure you stay tuned for the Sim 500 as the Northwest Cup Series is off. So we'll